Let's go! Oh. Oh. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I already got here. Hold on. I gotta go.
I gotta make sure I have yours.
Yeah, I need to have yours open. Oops! The one thing we forgot was having each other's streams open.
Oh, thank God I'm still on my starting soon because I'm realizing now that I can
go back online. Guys, we're not here yet. We're not here yet.
I
didn't see anything.
Full screen my thing.
We're so good at this, you guys. Whatever, we can go back to my. It doesn't even matter, guys. It doesn't even matter. Scuff happens. And if there's no scuff in a stream, then you're not a real VTuber.
It's so true.
Okay, I have your stream open. The ad is finally over.
Oh my God, I have presentation tips. I love it.
Yeah, the blue screen.
Yeah, I'm notoriously hard to see out my model because it has too many colors on it, and I don't know what actually works. Some part of it is always invisible, and I'll put invisible tips instead of the superpower.
That's your name and your superpower. The invisible tits.
Sounds like a very useful.
It's so useful for when anyways.
Are you ready?
Who wants to start the you guys
You really sold me. I've come around on the topic. You're right.
Oh, I'm gonna save it. Are you ready for a transition?
Yes, I'm watching. Oh! That is so cute. I love it. Oh.
It was set to the right goddamn thing. What's wrong with it? Let me refresh. Maybe that'll do it.
We love it here. Hey guys, welcome to our Isopod collab. Hi everyone. If you're viewing from my chat, hi Dunsies. And if you're viewing from Nep's chat, hi Nep's chat. I mean, we're all connected now, but
What do you call your chat?
Dunsies. Like
Dunsies?
yeah, like the dunce cap.
Okay, I very, very kindly refer to mine as little shits.
Good, little shits. You know
So
your
feel free to
place.
call them that. Otherwise, their official name is like the terrarium dwellers.
That's cute too.
Yeah, they usually get called shits.
Hello, little shits.
I love them.
Lovely to make your
It's a term of
acquaintance.
endearment.
And we also have Iron Isopod with us. What are your fans called? Yeah.
We don't have a name for them yet. I just started streaming like 6 months ago, and Shiny and I have a shared Discord, so we're trying to figure out names that work well for like a Harpy Isopod joint community.
Ooh.
It's tough
This is
because
a
right
fun-
now it's
yeah.
the clutch is what the Discord's called, and Isopods and
cute.
Harpies both have eggs, but like I don't know.
You'll figure it out.
So,
Mhm.
big bonus here. I was packing my bowl because I educate on these topics professionally, so here I'm like doing it for shits and giggles so I can be intoxicated. Guess who found a seed in their weed?
Yo, can you grow that?
Probably, but I don't think I will because I'm solely focused on beans this year.
Ah. Mail me the seed.
Isopod. You know how I had 20-something packs of beans?
Uh-huh.
My friend who mailed me these rabbit plushies sent me 8 more fucking packs of beans.
More beans.
That's a
got,
very
like,
normal
30
amount of
varieties of beans.
More.
I just realized I've been muted from this the whole time on my end.
beans. Oh no.
They can hear you on my end, I think.
Yeah, because my Discord audio is unmuted, but I didn't
Oops.
unmute my mic.
Big Triv, it's
Oh,
only
that's good.
because you lost in marbles, and that's an objective fact. That's all.
God, someone lost in marbles?
Yeah, he says I could like call him a loser, but it's just because he lost in marbles.
Yeah, fair.
Anyways,
Okay,
now
I've
that
been
Nep's
hit with
here.
these. That's nice. Gitters the Moth also, thank you very much for the follow. And Saris Calico earlier, thank you for the follow.
Yeah, thank you everyone who's
Skitters.
following.
Yeah, Skitters is the friend I was telling you to about who had the big news earlier.
Oh,
Oh. Cool. Alright.
make sure that everyone follows everybody in our collab today. Follow Nep,
It is
follow ISO.
yeah, verboten to not follow, which is just German for illegal, and then it's scarier.
Verboten.
Verboten. Das ist verboten. Achtung, warning.
Oh no.
Achtung,
I
baby.
speak very shit basic German. Bach speaks good German.
More than I can speak.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I lived there for part of high school, so I kind of had to learn some of it.
Expand. You went to Germany for high school. That's
Yeah, my dad took a job there, and so we were just living there for 2 years.
that's cool though.
That's Oreo. That's the one I was saying. I can't pronounce his name, so
Hi,
call him
Oreo.
Yeah. So, there's Oreo. Oreo is lovely and also a cutie, although he will not admit it.
We have ways
Okay.
of dealing with people like that.
Bye! Bye! I've convinced 2 non-science tubers to teach science with me.
Yay!
I think it's cool.
I think it's cool.
This is the
Yeah.
definitely the first time in my life I've ever worked on slides for fun. Voluntarily.
No, actually.
Yeet. Okay. You guys, should we get started?
It's isopod time.
It's fucking isopod. It's real isopod hours.
Real isopod hours, baby.
I was wondering why my camera wasn't picking up my mouth movement. Half my water bottle was in front of it.
That'll do it. Oh, wait, sorry. What are you guys' favorite dinosaurs before we get started? Important question.
Oh no.
I like the long necks. But I always forget what they're called. We had like an evening where we just obsessively watched YouTube videos about dinosaurs. That was fun. With Skittle here. Skittle Dragon was like dino time.
I can do this, right? Don't tell me. Okay, good.
Oh my, and it's Bernie. Wow.
I think every so often on my end, you guys might just end up like disappearing. Because
It's okay.
Probably bandwidth stuff from me, I guess.
don't even worry.
Also, Shiny totally walked in front of the like antenna thing I used to boost my Wi-Fi signal, so maybe her head is capable of blocking radio waves.
She got
or
a thick
something.
skull.
I have a
Or
thick
something.
skull.
She's thick.
She thick in the head.
My dad, when he was annoyed with me as a child, would ask me if like yeah, thick skull. So I associate it with like quite an insult.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. My dad's an asshole, but he's an engineer, so
Like
makes
mechanical. Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. Well, specializes in physics, so even worse.
Yeah, he's kind of a
okay.
smart guy, huh?
Smart guy, but social skills are not as good as the number skills.
Hmm.
Love him, but my god, can't take him anywhere. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know how long we usually yak. Oh dear.
Sorry,
What did you get hit
I just
with,
got
Rod?
hydration checked. Hi, Issa. Thank you for the water board. That's my hydration check. Sorry.
I was gonna say, you might end up watching me get like pummeled and start like moving wildly across the screen. 'cause
That's
people
beautiful.
Throw stuff at me all the time. Little fuckers. I love them, but my god.
See, I'll never have like tits or whatever set up because I don't want people to throw things at me and then make my computer explode.
Ah.
Not the
It can be tricky,
bees.
for sure. Not the bees. Everyone expects
Also-
that one clip of Nick Cage. It's not.
Also, sorry, I totally didn't answer your question, Taffy, but I think Chaoyangsaurus is my favorite dinosaur. I'm
Wait.
not like a big dinosaur fan.
Which one did you say? Charlie Saurus?
You're gonna-
Chaoyangsaurus?
You're gonna crush
Hold on.
Skittle
Why?
because he's obsessed with dinosaurs.
Ignore that
Or
Nep
she or
is
they.
see-through, it's fine.
Oh yeah, I have Invisitits.
ISO tits.
I'm.
Presentation boobies.
Here we go.
Chaoyangsaurus.
my-
Oh. Gotta look that
If you
one
want
up.
to see what it's supposed to look like, you can quick pop into my stream and see. My outfit is blue, and my hair is greens, pinks, purples. I have too many of the colors. No matter what you use, it's gonna and to get rid of the background, part of me is gonna disappear. And it makes more sense for the tits to disappear than my eyeballs.
Yeah, I think this is the best outcome that we could have ended up
Yeah.
with.
I'm happy.
There's no option that we could have had other than this.
ISO titties.
ISO titties,
Titsapod.
titsapod. The
love it.
titsapod sounds like it could actually be something.
Well, what did we say earlier? ISO dick, but it didn't really make sense.
Oh,
to me.
isopodicity?
I'm so
Isopussy.
used to hearing people call me ISO that all of these are so deeply distressing for me to hear, and I'm so worried
Yeah.
someone's gonna turn it into a nickname.
This is
Sorry.
why to be fair, I get harassed about being into vor because I eat. That's the idea.
That's not
Vor.
what vor is, guys. Everyone
I know.
eats. Come on.
Yeah, I also once posed a question in my Discord. I was like, so why vor? Why is vor? Why? Because I don't get it. I genuinely do not know how to wrap my head around it as a kink. I don't get it. And then the accusations have never left.
It's a totally normal question that people not into vor ask all the time. People not into vor spend a lot of time thinking about vor, I'm very sure.
Yeah,
Thanks for the
obsessing
follow,
over it.
Dreaming about it.
You'll make sure to carry those names back. Oh my god.
ISO, we're sorry that you signed up for this, and now we didn't really think this through.
It's
Bye.
fine.
By the neutrophil. Are you still here? If you are, could you reshare the post on Twitter with the VTheorem account so that
Oh, please.
people know we're live and stuff? That would be cool because if I open Twitter, I'm gonna be busy and distracted for like the next 10 minutes. Cause that's just what I'm like.
I was telling them, like, I'm really good at being say-so on my stream, and then both Nep and ISO were like, yeah, we say a lot of things.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, no, you know what,
Today's
though,
gonna
me
be-
too.
Today's gonna be an exercise in modulation.
Yeah, we haven't
have
even
to, like,
talked
ring
about
it.
isopods yet.
Nep be out of pocket sometime. I mean, there was the one time that I had the brilliant idea of like, holy shit, I wonder what kind, like, are custom butt plugs a thing? And then we completely diverted from watching X-Files to Googling customizable butt plugs.
A
have no
natural
comment.
progression in topics.
Yeah, I can't even tell you how that came around, but it happened, and it happened. I saw a funny butterfly-looking thing in my favorite game. Ooh, I was gifted Rain World recently. I gotta play that.
Oh no,
That
we got a
game
whole paragraph
traumatizes
about
me.
vor now. Who wants to read that? I'm not
Oh.
reading it.
I'm so happy to read it.
Let's pull that up. I told you this exists.
I'm so proud. Yeah, I'll read it. Sirius is from my side. So, okay. I can explain vor easy. People want to feel either like they are wanting someone so in love with them that they would sacrifice their literal life. The other side is the other side is someone they want to be focused on so solely they would commit their life to have a full person's love and attention, even if for a moment.
That's not
Isn't
really.
this just-
That's
yeah,
not vor. That's
that's-
just like killing people.
I was gonna say that's yandere. That's
Yeah.
I feel like the vor and yandere are the same roots if we go with that, which that's not impossible.
I have, like the tags you can throw on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
I do have one that's Vor Hammer 40k.
Well, then whose fault is it?
chats. Someone said it and I thought it was funny. Vor is literally like consume, right? Like vor is eating.
I thought it was sexy because it's like hot and squishy inside the mouth.
Yeah, I just mean like in terms of what the word means. This is part of why I asked. I'm like, why is vor? Because I genuinely couldn't wrap my head around how, like, what it is. And
Taffy,
then everything fell apart.
I think you just sold me on board.
That's not what I was trying to do.
I mean, to be fair, ISO, that's kind of the whole concept behind your model too. Something ate your tongue.
No, we don't. But not in a vor way.
In a vor way. Consumption. Voracious.
To be fair, that's the same with me. I'm like, I'm a pitcher plant. Technically, I eat living thing, like, you know, but it's not the same.
You guys, I'm not part of whatever you guys are, whatever club you guys are in. I'm not part of it.
Like coyotes aren't carnivores.
It's different. I eat outdoor cats.
It's different.
If you leave your cat outside, it's not your cat anymore.
Oh no. Okay, we should totally start though.
We want to learn about isopods.
Yeah, so hi guys, isopods. This is a fun topic. I'm very excited. I put out, so I'll just say like every once in a while on my end, I put out a call to other VTubers and streamers. Doesn't matter what size channel they are. They don't even have to be a streamer. I just want people to come learn with me. So I'll teach a topic and I put my request out there. Taffy responded and we decided that she likes isopods.
I
And
do.
So we're like, oh, let's do a topic on that. And then I remembered that ISO loves isopods. And the three of us ended up deciding that instead of me teaching, the three of us would co-host this lecture.
Yeah,
So
we
all
all
will be providing info.
we all, I think, have a pretty varied knowledge of isopods between the three of us. And when we were making these slides, I think we got a lot of good info. And I think we all learned things as well in the making of this presentation.
We have
For sure.
This is another user from my my community that I can't figure out how to use their. It's AU181_19B. Instead of using that as the name, I say bois because I just put the letters backwards. Ignore the numbers. Did the letters backwards.
Bois.
Yeah, bois. So, in case you're curious, that is bois.
Hello, Bois. You can trust these two
Okay.
about isopods. You can trust these two. I have vetted them and they have vetted me. And we are
Yeah,
all
and
smart.
Once we start these slides, we'll be able to explain why we are someone to talk about this. So,
Mhm.
all right, shall we go to slide 1?
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's go.
It does make you guys just feel
Okay.
like every time. That's okay.
Okay, that's fine. So with introductions, I can start. So my name is Nep. It's short for nepenthesvt. So nepenthes is my Latin botanical name because I am a carnivorous pitcher plant. I'm actually a licensed horticulturist. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Agriculture. I majored in horticulture sciences. I've specialized my area of practice down to education and extension. So while yes, I can work to produce food, my specialty is teaching it to others. Also, professional gardener, unprofessional adult. These lectures are, for me, a hobby. I do provide these in my real world job as well. But here I find it fun, so I am typically partially intoxicated. Speaking of,
I love it.
weed.
So you
Okay,
make
I didn't
me
have
want to
any-
get involved, but like I don't want my room to smell.
That's fair. That is very valid. Okay, so that's me as an introduction. If you guys have more questions, oh, one other thing. I host educational streams on Saturdays. It's called my Hort Cult, short for horticulture. It's a joke because I couldn't fit horticulture across the front of a sweatshirt, so I shortened it to Hort Cult. But join my cult. Learn about plants and gardens and bugs and, I don't know, all sorts of random stuff.
I love the hort cult.
Yeah, next week is all about ants, just so you guys know.
Oh, just in time. They've started coming into our house for spring.
Yeah. They're
Kara,
fun.
is it an isopod question or what's up? We can. We'll take isopod questions right now if you want, but we'll have we're gonna go into so many things, so not too many questions right now or anything.
See, look at this. It's queso. I fucking told you.
I heard the
I have a
dirt lore.
question
We
about
heard the dirt
dirt.
lore.
Queso, I already outed you in your bullshit.
You did predict this, Nep.
Chatters from other communities, I will be very nice, and I'm not going to tell you to shut the fuck up. That's reserved for my community and those that know that I don't mean it. So I will be nice, just not to
I
Queso.
think most of my people are like brats with praise kinks. I think they would cry if you told them to shut up.
Oh no.
I think my
no.
audience is like a mix of the two. I don't know. I only tell them to shut up if they need to shut the fuck up.
Sometimes I worry. I'm like, this is who I attract. What is wrong with me? But that's okay. Clearly, the same things that are wrong with these people. Okay. So, that is... Oh, tall lady. I drew this earlier this week during one of my I can't sleep, I'm awake for over 24 hours stints. Drew it at like 5 a.m. POV, you're a weed in the garden and Nep has found you. Watch out.
I love it.
Okay. Let's move
Do you
on.
ever
That's
just
me?
do you ever just want to be a weed?
No.
Nah, let me roll you into a blunt and smoke you.
Oh no! Never mind. I take it back.
All right. Taffy.
All right. I gotta go slide on my end too. Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Taffy. I am a coyote yaru. Can I do the peace sign? It works sometimes. Ah! Whatever.
I believe in you. It was so
My
close.
fingers are like,
Thank you.
Just kind of like.
Yeah, sometimes my hand just breaks. I love fashion. I love idols. I love bugs. I love isopods. They're technically crustaceans, but like they're a bug is just a little skittery critter to me, right? And I've kept isopods before. My main knowledge is hobbyist information. If you wanted to get into keeping isopods of your own, I'll be talking about that a little bit today. I'm also an environmental science major in school, in university, and I am a professional yapper and snacker. And that's me. Hello. And I want to be an idol someday too, but I'm working on it. I just say that I'm an idol lover now because, yeah.
So many things make sense.
But yeah. You made your little bro an isopod terrarium. Let's fucking go. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, future idol. I guess I'm a future idol. I say one time on stream, guys, should I apply to do this thing? And they go, yes, and we're holding you to it, and if you don't do it, we're holding a gun to your head.
What?
Wait, you did a concert already?
I had a birthday whatever, guys, stop talking. Anyways, let's move on to ice.
I reward my my community with a Christmas caroling stream annually.
So cute.
But it's because it's I bribe them. Like, if you guys leave, like, you don't play any fucking Christmas music all month, you leave me alone with the Christmas crap because I'm a Grinch, I will host a Christmas caroling stream. You can have that. I will hate it, but you can have it.
That's a
And so
compromise.
it is.
It's
It is.
fair.
We've done it 3 years in a row.
I love that.
The first year, I got blackout drunk and cussed us content, or what is it, new follower out. It was hilarious. It's actually clipped.
Oh my god, I have to watch that.
I'll find it later.
Yeah, we'll look at that later.
Imagine you get cussed out on a Christmas caroling stream by the person singing them.
Wambling Mary. I mean, yeah, but you'll have to say it later in the year because I'm not going to remember that. Hello. Welcome in. Thanks for the follow.
Nip, did you hand place an isopod on Taffy's arm, or did it just happen to be there from the...
No, I did that.
Thank you.
Amazing. It's very
You're
good.
welcome. It got hidden by the art, and I was like, well, I don't want it to be hidden.
Put him in the front.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
All right. Should we move to ISO's slide here?
There we go. All right, ISO.
Hello, I'm Iron Isopod. I'm a pastel goth moth girl. I'm actually a parasitized goth moth girl. My tongue is an isopod. It's not showing on the model yet, but we're working on it. I've been keeping isopods for 4 years. Powder blues and oranges and some dairy cows. I'm working on getting a fresh batch of dairy cows in. I'm a survival crafting gamer, and professionally I work with software bugs, which I think qualifies me to talk about the real ones.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because Audacity. Also,
Oh, yeah.
Nep, did you hand place an isopod on my ass, Nep?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. I didn't want to, like, ruin the surprise on the last slide and say something.
That's incredible.
I have to make like a little note at the bottom of the screen that says Nep's shirt is transparent because of the blue screen, and your top is blue, and that's the only background we could have used for the...
If you really need to see my tits, they're on my channel.
Yeah, everyone
That's
go
about
follow Nep. You can literally click the @ in my title that says nepenthesvt, and then it will take you to Nep's channel, and then you can see not chroma keyed out boobs right there. And then also leave a follow, and then also follow ISO, who is not actively streaming right now, but follow anyways.
Is great because it boosts our egos.
That
and
too.
As VTubers, we need that.
Yes, we literally need it, or we'll graduate and die. So make sure you guys keep saying nice things.
What it is on your end with my tits missing? You ever seen those clothes that like somehow project what's happening behind you onto them?
What? Wait.
It makes you look invisible.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what's
I'm just
going on
high-tech.
here. Yeah, you've got
That's it.
high
I'm just
tech.
high-tech.
A high-tech outfit, and that's because you're the real scientist here out of all three of us. You're the real, like, well, I mean,
You are going to be though once you get your degree.
yeah,
'Cause you'll have a
dead.
bachelor's of science.
No,
So
it is like a color changing mug. I like that. What's up, I said?
My thighs color coordinate really well with your hair, Nep, and I'm not sure where I'm going with that, but
I like it. I'll have to mess
No,
around with
that's
that later. and see.
good. Yeah.
I think that's funny. Okay, let's move on. We should get started.
Yeah, let's talk about
So-
the actual isopods here.
Yeah, we've got this organized. My section is going to come first. I'm actually going to do the science behind them, and then my lovely guest / Taffy, because she's hosting her own stream in ISO. They have their own parts that they'll be sharing as well, but I'll yap first, and then we'll move forward. So
Shout
don't feel
out.
like we're ignoring them.
Shout out to Nep for making this slideshow and doing like the heavy lifting here.
the isopod frame is so good.
Thank you. It took me a while to position them perfectly. Thank you. Like I said, it took me 2 hours just to come up with the fucking background.
It paid off.
All right. Science of isopods. Let's get going. I need to click on that. Okay. So, the science of isopods, the study of it is... I just read that comment. Okay. The study of isopods is called isopodology. it's not really a well-known official name. It's just kind of a colloquial term underneath the study of crustaceans. Crustaceology is, I believe, what it was called. But that is because isopods are actually crustaceans. They are not insects. I thoroughly enjoy telling people that they have house crabs.
You got shrimp in your basement, buddy.
You got house crabs. What?
I do.
Like,
I do
oh,
keep
it's fine.
some in the basement.
You got shrimp in
When I-
your basement.
Amazing. I'm so here for it.
When people are like, "Is shrimps bugs?" You can be like, "Well,
Kind of.
point to isopods."
I believe so.
Mhm. Especially like the powder oranges and any kind of orangey looking isopod. If you look at them, it is hard to deny that they are just shrimp.
They really
Shrimp.
do look like shrimp. We didn't put powder oranges on this, but it's okay.
Yeah,
They're
I'll
they're kinda
explain
basic.
the relations in a couple slides from now, so don't worry. That question I will explain. All right, but yeah, so this subset of the study of crustaceans is what specializes in the order Isopoda. So we'll continue. So paleohistory. Paleohistory is really fun. Taffy, I accidentally put your head in front of part of it, so at some point I'll need you to like lean over, but that's okay.
Just
Paleohistory. Wood lice, another name for isopods, terrestrial ones, have been on the planet for far longer than humans. Some scientists will believe that these guys have been around for 100 million years or so. They've been close to and part of human history for so long. They're you could call them something called a synanthrope. While I didn't put this in the presentation, it just means that they are commonly found in human settlements as well. Yeah. So since evolving from their ancestors way long ago, Taffy, if you could lean now.
is this enough?
That's okay. I can just move you down.
Look, I'm gonna move you guys too, but that means that you're gonna get attacked by the rectangle again. Ignore the rectangle, you guys. They're still here.
So I'll put you back. It's just, I think this one. Anyways, since evolving from these ancestors, there are over 3,500 species, 3,500, that have so far been discovered and described. That doesn't mean there are not more. There most likely are, and they are just undiscovered / undescribed. Describing is what you say when there is an official recognition of a species. There's usually information about their body structure, their life cycle, etc. So if you've discovered one and you've like basically put a patent on it, not really, but that's kind of the same idea, it's been discovered. All right.
Sorry, I'll look like this on my end.
Sorry, tickle in my throat. One sec.
It's
Higher
okay.
Classification.
Everyone take a break
So
to drink water.
Oh, good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just saying that because I'm like doing things on my stream. Looks weird.
Definitely not.
Yeah, so higher classification. Classification is done in a whole bunch of different ways within science. If you're curious about how classification works, I actually have already done a presentation on that, and you can find it on my YouTube. So if you would like a lecture on it, I have one, conveniently. So I'm not going to go too into detail, but this is the higher classification. So this is all of the things above, showing the relationship to other creatures. And so we have our domain of eukaryotes. This means their cells contain a nucleus. Our prokaryotes are the ones that do not have a nucleus. Those are things like bacteria for the most part. But domain, eukaryote. Animalia? Fuck, I didn't change that. That's kingdom. Damn it. Okay, I made an error.
It's
The
okay.
kingdom is Animalia, meaning it comes from... Oh, I don't know how to describe that one in its easiest sense. Don't worry, Animalia. Other ones include like fungi, bacteria, that sort of diversification. Your phylum is Arthropoda. Arthropoda are things without a spine and with typically an exoskeleton, although not everything has an exoskeleton, like worms. Worms don't, but they fall under Arthropoda. Class, Crustacea, meaning they are from the overarching group of crustaceans. The reason I bring this up is because at the Arthropoda phylum level, this is where insects split off. True insects have a different class. Crustaceans, so shrimp, scorpions, isopods, crabs, all of those guys fall under Crustacea, but they are arthropods. So it's a step back in classification. So isopods, not from the insect category, they're from the crustacean category, and that is where they sit. They are not exactly related to crabs and things. They're kind of, I guess, a cousin more or less.
I feel like they're closer. Like, I feel like a giant isopod is maybe closer to a lobster. Maybe? I'm just guessing.
This is kind of that level of differentiation. So those things all sit in Crustacea, and they have their own names after that.
Okay. I'm learning too,
So,
you
like,
guys.
for example, in insect, you have Insecta, but underneath it, you have separations for, like, beetles, butterflies, moths. Well, moths is butterflies, but, you know, like, different types of the groups of bugs. So, different types of the groups of crustaceans. Yeah. That is your higher classification. That's how things are related to each other on a level that we typically can see. Under that, we have the lower classification. So this is, I don't know why, but my like camera is not recognizing my mouth today. I'm talking and it's like barely moving. Weird. Could be lighting. I don't fucking know. Okay.
Maybe it was just like your tracking was weird and you had the bottle in front of it. No, it doesn't know what to do.
Maybe. Maybe I'm just not opening my mouth wide enough?
No, it
Who
looks,
knows?
I think you're doing okay.
All right. So lower classification. So all of these are isopods. None of these come from another category like lobsters or crabs. These things sit underneath the isopoda name. So the isopod group is called an order. These are suborders. So these are kind of a unofficial way to recognize the different groups of them. So we kind of just like group some of the species together and we'll call them Asalota. So that would be a suborder. It's just, yeah, it's another level. You don't usually require a suborder to define what something is. It's kind of an optional subsection of order. But these suborders are used widely when we're talking about the different groups of isopods. So this is where you'd probably get a differentiation between the ones that live on land and the ones that live in the sea and all sorts of things like that. So again, continuing on, we are going to pay attention to a specific one of these little suborder groups today, and that is our Onicidia. And so these are our typical isopods that you'll come across in your house or your garden or wherever. And they're the ones that we recognize as people. They're the ones most commonly associated with human settlement. So in this group, while this doesn't describe every particular one, there are always exceptions. For the most part, these guys have a average lifespan of 2 to 3 years. When you have them outdoors in a wild setting, they will in winter locations and yeah, not in tropical spaces, but in places that experience a winter, they will end up just going through diapause, so critter hibernation instead of mammal hibernation. And then once the temperature warms up, they'll come back and continue their living. That's how they can reach 2 to 3 years. They don't just die in the winter. They have 4 particular life stages, and that includes the egg, the manca, juvenile, and adult. If you are curious the difference between manca and juvenile, because they might sound similar to you, it's more like the concept of an infant. So yes, they have all of the same body parts, but they are not the same in terms of proportions or total function as a juvenile. So if you're thinking about a 1-year-old, even though they have the same body structure, their proportions and the functionality of all those parts is not the same as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So not fully adult yet. They don't have reproductive capabilities as a juvenile. That's what distinguishes them to an adult, is when they reach sexual maturity. Whereas we like to throw 18 for the most part, which is smart because we used to like marry off girls as soon as they got their periods, and that shit's creepy. So,
Yeah, I think
glad
if
we
that
changed
happened
that.
to me, it would have ruined my life. So,
Yeah. I was talking about parasitic wasps yesterday with someone.
oh
and they were
boy.
kind of, what did I end that talk with? I was like, yeah, so they lay their egg in the aphid, and then they are the baby, and they consume the inside of the aphid, and then they pupate inside the aphid, and then they like chew a little hole and come out as an adult, and they were freaking out, and I'm like, yeah, to each their own. Not my life cycle of choice.
Everyone lives a very unique and separate life from each other. It's crazy.
I won't
Wild.
lie, I think human birth is also kind of terrifying. We have tiny little pelvis shape because we stand upright, and so we don't want the baby to fall out, so our like pelvises have a smaller birth canal. That's why mammals with 4 legs can like give birth so much easier.
They can just poop a baby out. Like a giraffe. Have you ever seen a giraffe just poop out a baby and then the baby giraffe is just like standing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's why animals can do that, and then we can't, because, well, we stand upright, and it would fall out easily.
I feel like we're
It's not
evolutionary
bueno.
failures.
Nah, man. We don't have wisdom teeth anymore our wisdom teeth are disappearing.
Yeah, I don't
like,
have them
you're
anymore
more
because
advanced.
I got mine taken out by a dentist. That's
Same.
why.
Yeah, same.
We're
I
just
wish I
helping
still
it
had
along.
them.
Yeah.
I kept mine. I had them in like a little
I'm
test tube that they gave me,
jealous. No.
and I refuse to get rid of them. So I also refuse to keep them in my room for some reason. I can't explain myself, but my mom had to bribe me to get rid of them. She's like, first offer, she's like, I will give you $100 if you just let me throw these out.
Oh my god.
I was
Did
in
you
high school, so
negotiate
like
for a better rate?
$100 is a lot. Like, my parents never hand out that kind of money. Like, if I would ask for money for anything, I need an actual reason for needing it, and it was like $20. So that was like kind of a crazy offer, 'cause she
$100
just
to
was-
throw away the teeth you don't even keep in your room.
Yeah, well, I kept them in like the common space for God knows what reason.
That's probably why she
don't
wanted you
know.
to get rid of it.
I know, but I got $100 for my wisdom teeth.
Hey, there
You
you,
should have.
go.
Went to
You.
garbage.
I feel like you could have negotiated for more. I feel like you could have been like, tell you what, $150, and I won't put them in the kitchen.
There you
I should have, but my mom might have just removed the offer
Mm.
and threw them out anyways.
Fair.
Yeah, not good for negotiating with. Anyways,
I asked
So
the
off
dentist and
topic.
they told me that it was a biohazard and I couldn't keep mine.
no.
It's fucked up.
Okay, I had mine
That's-
taken
that's
out when I lived
awful.
in Germany, so maybe it's like different.
I gotta keep mine. I was in the U.S. when I had mine taken out.
I
Oh.
think maybe it's because I asked after the procedure. I should have asked beforehand.
Okay.
Like maybe they did not put them in a good, clean environment. Like
Yeah,
just a little
maybe.
bloody tissue wad somewhere.
True, maybe they were like,
It's
well,
Volax.
we threw them away already.
Volax came and joined me for an educational stream, but in my usual context of they pick a topic and I provide the info. Yeah, if you're curious, Volax is a clam VTuber.
Oh shit.
I feel like
It's
crustaceans
Volax.
gotta support crustaceans.
Mollusks. Woo!
Mollusk.
Bivalve. Bivalve, not a mollusk.
Bivalve.
They separate from each other in the
Oh,
Arthropoda category. So, this is my favorite thing. They molt. So similar. Did I put them in the wrong order?
Are we talking about?
Where'd they
Are we
go?
talking about mollusks now or isopods again?
No, the isopod shirt pants, but the pictures disappeared.
Oh no.
Okay, one sec. I'm actually just gonna peek where it is.
Okay, all good.
'Cause I am confused and upset.
I gotta redeem. I got my Taffirmation redeem, which is basically if any of you have any like quick little tips or life advice you want to give to our chats.
I actually have a really good one. If people are interested.
Yes, I'm
interested.
interested.
Okay, I'm just quickly locating this thing. I will.
All good. We gotta
Wait a
find this
second. So
picture.
you guys,
This is important.
figure out the. Because I swear I put it in here. It's in here, but where?
I saw it at some point.
I know. Oh, I put it one too far back. That's why.
Oh, is it just one behind?
Or two behind, I think. Either way, I got it.
Nice. Since we're talking about isopods, I think it's worth noting that Armadillodalier's name is very similar to Armadillidium.
Oh my
That's fun.
gosh.
Wait, did I spell it wrong then?
No.
Oh,
There's
thank God.
someone from my chat usually who's over here.
They
Armadillodalier
named an
is
isopod after you. That's crazy.
That's definitely what it was.
That's what it was.
I have to
Armadillo
reload my
Delivino.
presentation now, so give me one moment.
Okay, I will also reload the presentation. Whee! And then you guys got attacked by the
Okay.
rectangle again. I'm so sorry.
Damn that rectangle.
That fucking
Not the first
rectangle.
time. Won't be the last.
So, molting is when the buggo of whatever kind sheds its exoskeleton because it has to get bigger and they don't have squishy skin on the outside like we do. Their shell doesn't stretch. We stretch. That's why when you get fat, you get big. That's the whole concept. It just stretches. Dun, dun, dun. Bugs don't do that. Yeah, so it's called molting. And when they molt, it comes apart in two parts. So they don't have a singular shell that they remove themselves from like a spider does. They have two parts, and they get called, this isn't a scientific term, it's just what fans and hobbyists
Colloquial
call it, but
term.
a shirt and pants. And this is what they look like. So they come apart in two different steps. Typically, the front end is the first part to shed. Not always, but typically. And so what happens is the isopod is left with this like slightly different colored bottom, like
His
back end,
sweatpants.
and it looks like they're wearing pants.
He's got his
I love it.
pants on. His pants and his shirt. And this one's got like a crop top, the top image.
Mhm.
Got the
love it.
belly
we
out.
love
Let's go.
we love a crop top isopod.
Yeah,
Crop
this
top.
is something you don't need this info. It's not important to understanding isopods. I just think it's great.
This is
I come
this
across
is
it.
extremely important info. What do you mean?
Yeah.
They wear pants.
True. I love the pants. Okay. Another thing that you can recognize them pretty easily from is the fact that they're the butt end that's pre-molt is typically slightly smaller, so it also looks like Hank Hill proportions.
Oh, tiny butt.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me sad. I don't like the Hank Hill comparison. That's awful.
Oh, isopod's got tiny butt cheeks.
You itty butt cheeks. That's cute. I like that. Alright. Continuing on. Body plan. So you could call this morphology, you could call this anatomy, but I'm gonna call it a body plan because that's how I recall learning about insects. We talk about a body plan.
Body,
so
yaddy, yaddy.
This is a very generalized idea of this Onicidae suborder. I'm still learning how to say these
The
terms.
terrestrial ones, the ones that we're talking about.
Yeah, so the group that we're looking at. So this is typically what they have for body features. They're segmented similar to insects in that they have 3 body parts. But while bugs, and if we think of like ants, they have 3 body parts, 3 little sections. These ones have slightly different terms, but we still have the head, central bit with most of the legs, and then we have the back end. So we have our cephalothorax, that is the head. We have your perion, which is all of the body segments that contain the legs. And then we have the pleon, which is the back end without legs, and they contain the reproductive system for the most part.
The booty.
They also feature parapods, which are their legs, and they typically have 7 pairs, unless sometimes you find them missing them or they're mutated, because that can happen. I mean, I have 1.5 arms, not 2, so
There you go.
yeah. The gonads are located underneath the pleon. We have male sperm-producing isopods, and their counterpart, the female one. I don't know what the ovum-producing, egg-producing body parts. Yeah. So this image is courtesy of the Sans Vertigo. I don't remember if it's an institution, but they had some really nice images and stuff. So if you want to look at more context around the body plan, that's a pretty good one.
I would like to mention the Europods, which are the little thingies that stick out of its booty. If you see, it's got two little things that stick out.
Little tail guys.
It's got 2 little taily things, and those are the Europods.
I love the name difference because in insects they're called cerci.
Cerci?
Cerci.
That's a
Cerci.
beautiful name for a baby girl, like, actually.
Yeah, but it means like
Right out of Game of Thrones.
insect butt tail.
I love it. That's my middle name, you guys. I'm changing it right
Insect
now.
butt tail?
Yeah.
Or
It's a good
Well,
middle name. Insect butt tail for sure, obviously.
Yes,
One
that's it's Swedish.
And
It's-
some people, and some people who have horrendous taste, like isopods last when they have Europods that are noticeable, and they don't make good choices.
Sometimes they're tiny little earpods, and sometimes they're long. They're long and crazy.
One of the, I forgot to talk about it, but the antenna
Mm.
are pretty fascinating and fairly specialized to isopods, but they have a double jointed antenna. So you will never see double jointed antenna in insects. If you do ever see a joint in antenna in insects, it will be in the hemipteran group, which is your bees, flies, wasps, ants, or no, not flies, bees, wasps, ants. And they have a singular elbow. That's what they get called. So 2 elbowed antenna are one of the indicators that it's not a bug, it's a isopod.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. I will say from keeping isopods, they are so cute using their antennas to like sniff around for stuff. It's so adorable. Like you can put a little piece of food down and they'll like turn towards it and they'll like use their antenna, they'll like sniff around and they're like, I smell food over there. It's so cute.
And they very
It
much seem
is.
to like use them to explore, like, oh, what's this over my head? Like, I'm in a narrow little space. Can I like?
They're
can
curious.
I get up here?
If you want a really good comparison, it's like using a cane when you are visually impaired.
Yeah.
You use it to sense your environment. The difference is antennae contain the ability to smell. That's how they smell. It's a little different from how we actually think. The structures are different, but it's the same idea. It picks up scents.
Yeah. It's not.
Where in the antenna- So they experience more than a cane would, but it's how they would sense and feel things. Their eyes are very rudimentary. They're not very good. So the antennae are crucial for understanding their environment.
Absolutely.
Now, life cycle. Did I already do this? Yeah, I did. Oh, no wonder I got confused where that picture was. It was because it was back here.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Anyways, habitats. So where are you actually going to find these guys? So we now know about the science of them and their life stages and shit like that, but where actually are they? Isopods in general, lots of environments. Sometimes you'll find them in the ocean. With ISO, sometimes you find them in place of a tongue.
It happens sometimes.
It happens
It
sometimes.
does.
And that's, I think, a specific suborder that does the I think that Cymathoida is like mostly the carnivorous and parasitic isopods.
Okay. Yeah. So our habitats, the generalized habitats for terrestrial isopods, the ones on land, you'll find them in natural environments, but also, like I said, man-made sites. So you'll find them in your garages or your basement or around the foundation of a building. But you'll also find them out in like a garden underneath the dead leaves and in forests in the same kind of context.
Pick up a
where, like,
rock.
if you peel the bark off of a log, they'll usually, yeah. They're often underneath big rocks. If you, like me, like to go rock flipping to look for bugs and critters, they're often under there. And they scuttle.
Yeah.
God, I love things that scuttle. Okay. Yeah, so they like a damp, leaf litter covered environment. And something to know. I swear I wrote this somewhere. But something to know about isopods is it's pretty normal for a couple of them to get into a building, and they don't mean that they're going to damage your. Oh, I put this in ecological importance. I'll come back to that.
Okay.
Ta-da! Literally coming to it now. They don't cause damage to human structures. They don't even cause damage to humans. As far as I'm aware, people don't have allergies to them. Again, there's always potential exceptions, but I've never heard of it.
That'd be crazy.
And they don't bite. They do not have the mouth parts that are capable of biting us.
They could, kind of, but it's not gonna hurt.
Yeah. It's kind of like if a baby kind of like
Yeah.
it's not really capable of putting its mouth around anything important.
They-
their mouth is so fucking small.
They do want to eat the dead skin off of you just because they like that, but it's not gonna hurt.
Yeah, my dairy cows have definitely like sat there seeming to like graze on my hand a little bit if I hold them too long.
Yeah,
And
they'll exfoliate you a little.
That's what they do. Anyways, that's them, and their environment. Okay. They are what I like to consider a composting machine. And so, like compost in a garden, you do not put living plants in it. They don't eat living plants for the most part. I'm sure there, again, are exceptions.
If they're starving,
But
they will eat a living plant.
Yeah. They eat the dead stuff. So we call it detritus, which is nature's garbage. And like worms and other things that live in and on top of the soil, as they eat these dead components, they shit out the good components.
That's a scientific term.
Yeah. I had to stop myself from writing poop on the on the slide. Like, that doesn't look professional.
Poop.
But I don't care if I say it. Yeah, so ecological importance is they are excellent decomposers. They have a huge benefit in your garden setting. You really don't want to kill them. They're so
No, they're
easy
good.
to pick up and remove from a space too. You know they can look really creepy, but they can't bite you. They cannot hurt you.
They're
You can
they're
even
probably
use the
not even
trick
gonna
of,
like damage your plants. Like they don't
Yeah.
want to eat your plants.
I actually put the ones I find indoors in the winter in my houseplants in the pots because I don't want to put them outside.
Good, and they're making that soil even more healthy for your plant.
Hopefully.
Oh, and
Um,
isopods can also remove heavy metals from soil.
Yeah,
Which is
that's one of my
crazy.
favorite little
Yeah.
facts about them, and they like store it in their gut as little pellets. From what I've read.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So cool. Okay, yeah, when you do find a large community of them or reoccurring issues with them in your space, even though you've tried to remove them, it could actually be an indicator of a different problem. Typically, humidity. Although sometimes it could be like a crack in something and they're actually just getting in easier. But it's typically, it indicates humidity problems because they really do like that higher humidity damp environment. So if you have a lot of them in your basement, you may want to consider getting a dehumidifier.
Yeah. They don't want to be in your basement. They want to be out under the rocks and stuff. But your basement is like living under a rock for them. You got to do something about that.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, it's just more of an indicator than a problem.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you like isopods, and then congratulations, now you have a basement full of isopods.
I see no issue with that, but I do see issue with like high humidity in a basement.
True. You don't want mold in your basement.
No, thank you. Nor do I. I've had to walk through someone's basement infested with crickets, and like stepping on them was very uncomfortable, and like stepping on isopods would feel horrendous for so many different reasons.
Yeah, it would be a little bit crackly, I think. I hate that.
I realized I once again don't know if I put the next 2 slides in the right spot, so I'm gonna check. Like, for how many hours I sat there and worked on this today, how do I still have shit out of order?
No, but stuff was
Because-
like messing up and glitching too. I don't even know.
Mm-hmm. And we were fixing that like 10 minutes before we went live. So
Yeah.
Inevitable.
And it's okay.
Arma's comments about uranium farming ideas using isopods concerns me.
No, do it. What's the concern?
Like, actual concern? Probably none, besides now you've got a bunch of, like, free roaming, potentially radioactive little guys.
That's
Oh, no,
the
they're in the
best.
We're good. Thank God.
Until they get
It's
out.
fine.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
true.
I think before we move into this types of isopods section with you two, I'm just gonna pose a moment for if anyone wants to ask questions about my topics. So like I said, it's more the science behind them, it's the study of them, rather than the interaction and actually being in the field, air quotations, of isopods.
Yeah, you know the educational, all that.
It's the textbook info.
You know the
right?
textbook, and then ISO and I know the working with isopods, the keeping of them.
We're the street smarts. That's
Yes,
terrifying.
yes.
So that's the difference. I've got a background with a bunch of entomology and obviously working with other things that can interact with plant environments and soils and all of that. That's where my knowledge of these comes from. I will admit my knowledge of insects is significantly better and more in depth than my knowledge of isopods, which is why it's very helpful to have these two with me today because they know a lot of additional info.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Nat.
Yeah.
How relevant or how often have like isopods come up as being relevant in horticulture specifically? Do they ever get mentioned specifically? Do they have any like interactions or specific plants they like vibe with or?
What I usually get is, what are these and how do I get rid of them? And then I just have the conversation that they are not damaging. You do not need to be scared of them. I can understand the interest in having them removed and how you might want to look at they're going to keep coming until you fix the problem that's bringing them there. So there's not really a way to kill them all. It's find out how they're getting there and deal with that.
But also don't get rid of them because they're actively helping your soil.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna eat your plants. It's okay.
If you are outdoors, do not be a dickhead that just smushes them.
Oh my god.
No offense. More important to the environment than you.
No, literally. No, literally. I mean, if you're a dickhead that smushes bugs for no reason.
Yeah.
Fuck you. This is me trying to do a middle finger. Is it working? Fuck
it
you.
works. It works.
Fuck you if you
Yeah,
smush
that's pretty
bugs for no fucking reason. Especially if they're outside. Like, if you have a bug inside your house, like, I guess I get it. But if it's a bug outside on the sidewalk, walk around it.
Yeah.
Just walk around it. She's not hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, queso, that's cool.
Whoa. That means you're the
Oh,
godparent.
that's exciting.
Yes, it is what you eye sees. Hi, I. I is a relatively young streamer in terms of how long they've been streaming, and they just hit affiliate this
Let's go!
last week. Last week? Yeah, last Friday.
Congratulations.
Congrats. that's
Crustacean
awesome.
midwife.
So,
Oh,
do
Kick
you guys want
Attack.
to take like?
Sorry, Kick
I'll
Attack
speak
asked
first.
what the prettiest isopod is. If
Oh
I
it's
my
think we're
God.
all gonna have different answers.
if it's not ISO standing next to me, we're all gonna have different answers.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
I think
Yes.
we do all have our personal favorites in this slideshow as well. So
My favorite, yeah, our favorites are in there. I won't lie, the one I think that's the prettiest is the ones with iridovirus.
no, we'll talk about that
But I
later.
They're my favorite. I would say they're the prettiest, but they're definitely not my favorite.
We'll
Okay,
talk
that's
about
fair.
that later. That's a controversial opinion.
I know. I love how that one's more controversial to you than the one I had earlier.
Yeah, I don't care that you don't like kittens, but I do care. I do care about this.
Okay. All right, are you guys ready to move on?
Oh yeah,
or-
no, wait, we never talked about, I don't know, did we have a slide about pregnant isopods in here at all?
No, we didn't end up making the slide.
Okay,
I'll
let's-
go back to my life cycle page and then you
Yeah,
can
let's talk about that because Quid said, like, don't crustaceans lay eggs? Isopods lay eggs attached to themselves. They are like marsupials. They got like a marsupial pouch type deal.
Yep, it's called a marsupium.
The marsupium.
And it seems, and we had like a whole like not debate. No one was arguing, but like discussion about like
We
it seems like-
researched. We did good
Yeah.
research about it.
we did,
And
but yeah, it seems
yeah.
like. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's more of like the it research in the sense that we're not going through scientific papers and articles. Yeah, but still looking it up, finding our.
we
our
were
sources.
Googling a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely. But we found good resources. We're not just like picking nothing. Like, yeah, We
We're
found
not
good
we're not
resources.
basing
We're
this
not-
off of bullshit, trust us.
There's definitely some stuff with like more
Uh-huh.
exotic species or morphs where the only
Arma?
information available is. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Arma in terms of parthenogenesis. Oh wait, no, I'm answering a question. You finish.
Oh, I was just saying like when you're talking about like some of the more exotic species that have been maybe not documented a lot of the information is like some person's Instagram page and they've called themselves like arthropod expert 99 and they're like, I'm the second person in the US to manage to do this thing, and you're like,
Yeah,
I guess I gotta
they're
take
the
your word.
expert. If they're the only one that like has that type of isopod and they're the only one talking about it, they're technically the expert about it, huh?
That's the fun thing with expert. Expert just implies that you're someone with the larger amount of info about it.
There you
So
go.
if there's only like a little bit of scientific info out there, but you and one other person knows it, it kind of makes you two the experts.
I think that's how it is for a lot of less common
Mm.
isopods, because no one's out there studying them except for insane
Ah.
isopod freaks, you know?
Oh, thank God I undid that command. I clicked the wrong button on my Stream Deck.
Uh-oh.
I thought I was about to change scenes and fuck everything up. We're good. I did click it, but I broke the hot
Yay,
so
it's
we're fine.
broken!
I was so sure you were gonna say, oops, I deleted the slides.
Oh my God, I would die.
I hit the button on my stream deck that deletes the entire slideshow.
It would be me. Yeah, so parthenogenesis though is it's when something parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis is when they will create a clone of themselves. And so you see it sometimes in lizards as well. Aphids do this, and it's a way to reproduce asexually. So they just
Oh.
it's the same genetics, but it's a new one.
I don't think isopods...
No, from my understanding, and this is why it's not called parthenogenesis, is because they will lay the egg, and whether the egg hatches internally or externally, there is a hatching that takes place. They are not. There is still a. It requires sexual reproduction. They're not a clone.
There's an
And
egg
there's
involved.
An egg involved. Humans technically have eggs, but ours are not the same sort of setup because it is a singular cell. Their eggs typically have something else going on. It's a structure. It's just different. Humans don't lay eggs, okay?
Speak for yourself.
Oh. Okay. That's a different topic. Let's not. Yeah. Was there
Moving
anything else
on.
you guys added to life cycles? Because I know you've cared for them.
I think I want to talk about the size of them. When they're babies, they are so tiny, and then when they grow up, you can watch them get larger, and the larger ones can be like maybe the size of like your thumbnail or something, and it depends on which ones you
around a
get.
centimeter in length.
Yeah, it depends on which ones we're talking about here, but it's cute to see them grow over time, and you can kind of like gauge what their age is based on how large they are.
Yeah. Actually, let me talk about this a little bit, and the reasoning for it. They don't go through any kind of metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is something that occurs in insects, but not all insects. It's like a step removed further down the evolutionary traits. But insects, like butterflies and stuff that we think of, they build their little cocoon, they pupate, and they turn into an adult with vastly different body structure. Humans, again, for the example of infant to adult, they get bigger, they have more matured organs and structures, but the same structures exist. That is what you get with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, an egg is different. Infant before being born.
But like we were saying, humans
Different.
have eggs too, you know?
We also have like an infant stage,
Little baby.
a teenage stage, and then an adult stage. So it's a little more similar to that kind of a life cycle, rather than going through a metamorphosis. So as Taffy is saying, you watch them get larger. So in that juvenile stage, they're still technically a baby. They might not be at sexual maturity, that's what you would call it. But they look the same. They have the same structure. They're just smaller. The reason they molt is to get bigger. They grow, their shell is now too small, they remove the shell, wiggle their ways out of it, and then that new shell is a bit larger. The reason it can fit inside of the smaller one is it's not fully hardened off. So as it molts and removes that prior exoskeleton, the new one that comes out is it's able to set completely, and that's how you get that in growth in size. Yeah. All right.
I think that's it for life
Let's
cycle.
get back to here we are. Again, I'll give a moment for a pause for questions, and we'll move forward.
I wish that there were larger terrestrial isopods, because I don't think we have a slide about the giant underwater deep sea isopods, but can you imagine if we had ones on land that was that size?
I would be so excited.
I feel like you guys probably have seen this because you're into isopods, but I have an isopod meme.
I'd love to see it.
I just want a bunch of land-based isopods the size of the deep sea ones to pull a chariot while I sit in there with my Tiku lizard or something.
That would be amazing.
Huge isopods. Is that so wrong?
No, that's perfectly correct, actually. That's how everyone should be thinking.
File, I literally named this image meme.
Meme.
That's it. I have 2 shitty retro memes that I keep saved to my desktop because I reference them so often. I think that's hilarious, but I'm gonna pull it up here on my end so you guys can see it.
Okay.
Taffy, if you want, I can also send it to you, and then you can throw it up on your screen.
Okay.
There we go, and whoop. Honestly, I'm just gonna send it to
I
you.
love that picture.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna be a rectangle while while I'm getting this.
There's a version of this in Discord if you use Discord's like GIF searcher where someone added like a glittering sparkle effect to all of the
Got it.
isopods.
I've seen it. I love it. I love it. Where did I save the Dorito pods? Where are they? Desktop.
Me and the boys.
Now I want Doritos.
Fuck, we should have got
There.
Doritos for this. It would have been very on theme.
Oh, we
Yeah.
missed that. Hold on. Let me get DoorDash real quick.
DoorDash some Doritos. Oh my god, meme.jpg download to my computer.
Excellent.
Hold up.
Yeah. Fucking love this image. Me and the boys.
Hello, I want you. Go on OBS, please. Please, there we go. Yay. Me and the
Well, actually, we'll admit,
boys.
when he said that, I thought he meant that, like, as a clam, that's him with the isopods, but I'm realizing the intention is probably him saying him and his friends. I totally just immediately imagined that you were saying you would be friends with them and you would also eat the Doritos.
Maybe you are the Doritos.
Ooh! Maybe the clamshell is full of Doritos. That would make sense.
Ooh,
That could be delicious though.
that sounds like something messed up on some weird like restaurant menu.
No, I'm not.
Doritos in a clamshell.
That's the next level of like gastropub, like the millennial
Yeah,
burger experience thing.
it's fucked up. I don't like thinking about it.
Why are millennials obsessed with craft burgers?
It's a wonderful question. Have you guys seen the menu?
I don't know.
Yes. Well, okay.
What?
Nep, have you seen the menu?
I don't know what you're referring to.
It's a movie.
No. Should I?
Yes. If you can handle like, it's not like scary, I guess, but it's good though.
Comedy scary or like just really
It's tense. I
Like-
think it's tense.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a psychological thriller, but
We'll
not
watch
thriller
it.
like.
during daytime hours with the sun out, and I will make sure someone else is with me.
Yeah, do
I will
it.
watch
Then
it
I
with
can
you.
get through it.
Yeah, we'll all
I
let's all
call
watch it
dibs.
together.
Fucking
Yes,
watch
I'm in.
along in the server afterwards.
Yes. Also, my answer of yes, I've seen it is more like I think I've seen the entire thing in TikTok shorts that I cannot get rid of.
You've
They
seen.
just constantly
You've
show up.
seen. I guess it's kind of a spoiler. It's not too much of a spoiler. You've seen Tyler's bullshit, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Doritos in a clamshell. That's the kind of thing that.
Have you guys ever come across the VTuber Enrico?
Yeah. Oh no, because that's literally the fucking stream. The cum stream. I did
Yeah.
a stream where I was watching I was watching his video about.
ISO, you look too excited. What are you doing?
I don't know what this is, but it sounds amazing.
I was watching
so-
his fucking video about it live on my stream, and now my chat's like, you're not say so because you watched that, and I'm like,
So Enrico is my, I guess, Oshi. He's like one of the very first day I popped into Twitch. He was one of 2 streamers I opened. I still watch both of them. I love Enrico. He's hilarious. But yeah, one of the things he did is he had the cum cookbook and he just kind of worked his way through it on YouTube. Like he made videos and then posted them. So he wasn't doing it on stream, but
but he made
Dumb.
every single recipe in the cum cookbook,
fucking. Ugh,
and he
gross.
tried it, and he tried them all.
Fucking
Incredible.
ridiculous.
Did he?
Anyways.
I have so many questions, and none of them are relevant to this stream.
Yeah, we're in an
Yeah, we can go over
isopod
Enrico
stream.
another time. Okay. Types of isopods.
Yay, isopods.
Oh. There.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna
Hey,
move the
Kolak, I'll
Dorito.
kill you.
I gotta move the Doritos boys right there.
This is another thing I can't live down. I made a really shitty comment once, and Kolak rephrases the sentence with different words. And no one's gonna catch it except for me, but every time. That's why I made him an emote that's it's just shake the baby. Yeah, so that's him being shook. Worth that. Okay,
Shake it.
I'll shut up and I'll let you two take over the presentation. Just let me know when you're ready for me to also change the slide.
Okay. Yay! The things that are in green text are the ones I'll be talking about. This is the armadillo. Wait, no, this isn't. Well, we'll go to the pictures after. The pictures are after the words. So, Armadillidium vulgare. Vulgare meaning common. This is the common pillbug or woodlouse, the standard guy that you might see, standard roly-poly in your backyard. The ones that they're typically gray, dark grayish. They roll into a ball. They live in your garden. You know them. Nobody can stop you from taking them inside and making them your pets. All I ask is if you do that, you give them a good home, and we'll talk more about homing and keeping isopods later in this stream as well, but if you're going to take them from the backyard, make sure you give them an even better enclosure in your home than they have out in the backyard. That's all I ask.
I'm gonna really quick add to that. If instead of wild ones, you are special ordering them, do not release the ones that you haven't taken from outside.
Yeah.
They're not a species from your region. Just because they're both isopods, don't introduce things.
Yes, that is literally very illegal and terrible and bad, and will straight up ruin the nature in your area, the ecology in your area.
Majority of the invasive plants that you see are because something has been introduced from another part of the world and it out-thrives the native ones.
And there's a lot of isopods out there, dairy cows, that will fight to be the most strong and popular isopod. And I think if there's some out there that would fucking ruin everything. So yeah, if you buy them on the internet and you don't want them anymore for whatever reason, we talk about it later also, culling them. You can cull them by putting them in your freezer for like 3 days, and then they will ethically sleep forever. And then you can throw them away. And that's literally
I
what
can't
you gotta
say
do.
that this is the same in isopods because it's an insect thing, and I don't know isopods in the same level of detail, but it could be the same. Insects, for example, have such a rudimentary nerve system that what they recognize with their nerves are fight or flight. They don't recognize things like soft touch and a poke. The way their nervous system works is way more simple. Meaning bugs actually don't feel pain? They can recognize a leg is gone, but it doesn't hurt. That's why they don't limp away. So isopods could very well be the same, meaning if you freeze them, they don't feel they're getting cold. It just kind of triggers that diapause, like sleep habit.
Yeah,
but when you keep them in
that.
freezer temperatures, it's actually enough to kill them once they are in diapause.
Mm-hmm.
So
they just go to sleep, and then they stay asleep forever.
that's why we say freezing is the most ethical method, because they do not go into a fight or flight. There is none of that happening. You don't, air quotation, scare them. They go into a sleep phase. They don't wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had to do it with snail eggs before. I used to have giant African land snails in high school, and they're hermaphroditic, and so it doesn't even matter which ones I got. They laid eggs.
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah, you kind of can't, those, especially with giant African land snails, you kind of gotta be careful with that. Those are very illegal in America to own.
I know. I was doing the research on how to get the license to be able to to keep them.
Move to like
And it's a
Hawaii
lot.
or something. I don't know.
Well, there's a class you can get of license from. Is it the USDA? That like basically.
Yeah,
like,
it would be
have to-
USDA.
Is it like an educational license type thing?
I think it's
or-
like a research type license. So I need to first invent a research firm.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
They need to guarantee that you understand the risks of them being released and that you will not do something like that. Like, that's a really important part of why you need a permit. There are parts of the world where they don't have permits. I had them because I lived in Germany at the time, and they don't have... I don't know if they don't have a problem with them.
That's
but
crazy,
I bought them at a
though.
reptile expo for €2.
That's insane.
Yeah, so their names were Tina and Derek.
I love them.
Yeah. They were funny when they were really small, like still maybe an inch long. When I was doing homework, I'd stick one to my hand, and it would very, very slowly get to my shoulder.
Yeah.
And then rinse and repeat back to the hand.
That's
So I'd be sitting there
beautiful.
doing homework, and there's like a snail up my arm.
I wish that was me. I wish that was my life.
Time for a terrestrial snail pet.
True. Anything else that I can say about Armadillidy and Vulgare? They're initially from the Mediterranean, but now they live nearly everywhere. I don't think that they live in Antarctica. I think it's too cold there, but yeah.
I'm gonna make another comparison.
Mhm.
Dandelions. All over the world. You can't go somewhere without seeing a dandelion. Like every climate except for, again, Antarctica, because it's always winter. But yeah, they've just moved everywhere, although they're from Europe.
Dandelions and
They
isopods are
move
like
with
the same.
people. So I mentioned the word synanthrope earlier. The reason these things move around the world is because they are associated with human settlements. So if they go, like humans go, more often than not, these things that also live in a human settlement,
They
with
follow.
them.
That makes sense.
That's why we have pigeons in cities around the world, rats, cockroaches, bed bugs, like those things that it doesn't really matter where you live. It's obnoxious.
Mosquitoes.
That's what they are. Yeah, I have a lot of fun talking about this because I actually hosted a couple workshops in my city last year teaching urban insect habitats. So sometimes I get paid for this. Like I made $400 just doing that. lecture
Damn,
last
that's
year.
nice.
I know. People think I'm smart. There's just not a lot of people that hire me.
I would hire you. I can't afford to pay you
Same.
though. So.
Although, super happy news, I just got hired by the university of my province
Let's go.
in the plant sciences department doing like the gardening stuff that's not like I'm not teaching the students. I'm the resource that people contact to figure out what the fuck is going on and what they should do.
And that just means that you're the smartest one out of all of them.
And excellent people skills. So I'm not involved in doing research and stuff. That's literally what my time gets spent on. Speaking to some of the other staff this last week, they rely heavily on it because they don't have to be the one spending time providing the info. So, like I said, I specialize in horticulture education.
Hell yeah.
That's what I do.
That's awesome.
I
though.
start that job on Tuesday.
I'm so excited
I
for
start that
you.
job on Tuesday.
Get your coin. Okay, so I think I've talked about Vulgare. We want to move to the next slide here. I don't remember if it's the picture. Or
Yeah, it's a
okay.
picture.
So they look like this. You've probably seen one of these before. Ooh, that's the Vulgare. All right, we can move on. I
They're
think.
super cute.
Yeah, they're cute. They roll into a little ball. Not every isopod can roll into a ball, but these ones can. Oops.
I was
Sorry.
very disappointed to find out that not all of them can do the ball thing.
No, when you buy dairy cows and you're like, what the fuck?
No, yeah, actually, specifically dairy cows were the ones that broke my heart. Because
Sorry.
I wanted to see, like...
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't. I'm sorry.
My favorite one, the one that's in here later, is it doesn't. I find the Porticellos usually don't.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
All right, Armadillidium maculatum. I picked maculatum between all the different armadillidiums. There's like a lot of them, and they're all basically cousins of the one that we just looked at. But I picked maculatum, aka the zebras, because they're my personal favorite. They basically just look like the other ones, but they have stripes, and we'll see a picture of them in a moment too. But they're the luxury cousin from southern France. I think they were my first isopod. I think that they are a perfect starter isopod if you're gonna go online and like actually purchase isopods. Oh, and another thing also, if you buy online isopods, maybe don't mix them up with if you get some like wild caught in your backyard, because the ones in your backyard might have like diseases or parasites or something because they were out in the wild, you know? The ones that you'll get online from like a reputable breeder, there's a lot of isopod breeders out there because isopod.com, I don't know if that link actually works, but I don't know what that goes to, but fuck yeah. But
oh, if you're looking for those resources too, the subreddit for isopods
r/isopods is
actually
awesome.
an awesome resource.
They're great there.
Are they scientific research paper level info? No. But they're providing info like we are right now, where there is a good level of detail, knows where sources are found, can provide help. So you'll find really knowledgeable hobbyists.
Yeah, a lot of first-hand information. And also they're kind of funny there too. And what was the last thing I was saying? Oh my god. I don't remember.
Yeah, we got to like the second, we finished the top 2 bullet points.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So there's a lot of breeders out there, and we'll have more resources also throughout this presentation and at the end as well. And I think zebras are great to start with. You could also get the Armadillidium klugi, which are the clown isopods. We'll see pictures of all of these. And they're also related, and they're from the Balkans. And there's Armadillidium gestroi, which are yellow spotted, and they're from France. So if we want to go to the next slide, we'll have the pictures. So
Armadillidium gestroi.
So the maculatum is the black one with white stripes. That would be the zebra. And then the klugi is the one at the bottom. That's the clown isopod. It's got little yellow dots down its back and a red skirt, they call it. And then the gestroi is the yellow spotted. And I think that the gestrois and the maculatums are like pretty similar. Because sometimes you can find like yellowy zebras, or sometimes you can find like gestrois that have more like stripes than spots. But yeah, you can tell their body shapes are all pretty similar. They're all cousins. They're all friends. And I think that armadillidiums are great starter isopods. They're moderately active. They're friends. Yeah. They're cute. They're adorable. I like them a lot. They're easy to take care of.
Do you know if are there morphs of these as well? Like, do they get even more interesting, or are these ones that are kind of unmorphed?
They morph. I think I had chocolate zebras. So basically a morph of an isopod is just like when breeders will like, if they see an isopod and they're like, ooh, that one looks kind of different. I think I'm gonna create like a whole line out of these. It's like dog breeding, but like not fucked up.
It's like the difference between a yellow lab and a chocolate lab.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
black lab.
And so
it looks cool. We keep the same version of it around.
And there's a lot of different morphs out there. What are magic potions? Are those armadillidiums? Or are those...
Good question. I like those guys. They're cool.
Magic potions are cool. They're like kind of see-through.
I love the tie spikies. Those are one of
Yes!
my favorites. But nothing beats the one I put on here, and I just don't want to spoil it yet.
That's fair. Okay, magic potions are Vulgari.
They're Vulgaris?
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Damn, okay. So magic potions are like... Apparently they're Vulgares. I didn't even know that. But they're like white with like yellow spots. They're cool. But yeah. I think I had chocolate zebras. So instead of being black with white stripes, they were like dark brown. I had one that was like a nice chocolatey brown, like a light brown. It was pretty.
That sounds gorgeous. It sounds very like latte.
Yeah. The latte pods.
I just thought of it because you mentioned resources. This set of slides themselves, the PowerPoint, is available to you guys so that you have this info past the stream. At the moment, the link is pinned in my chat at the top, but I know Taffy also has it, so she can post it if she'd like.
Yeah.
Feel free to access.
Maybe I can't pin this right now, but we have a shared chat, so it should be... Yeah. Everyone should be able to access it. But yeah. And all of these guys can roll up into little balls.
Yay!
You're just tormenting me about the inadequacy of dairy cows now. I see you.
Sorry. Speaking of dairy cows...
Yeah.
These are your
I
faves.
say yay balls, but you know, because they roll up.
Yay balls.
Yeah. Haha.
Yay balls.
Okay, am I supposed to start? I'm terrible at these.
No, this is yours, yeah.
So dairy cows are my personal favorite, and the only kind that I have kept like as a standalone. The powder blues and oranges I did were like cleanup crew. I made the mistake of getting these for reptile cleanup crew and found that this very first line here is very true. They get pretty aggressive as far as small little land tanks can get. They did actually attack our lizards, so I can firsthand report that they will try to eat like soft body things they can get to.
Christ.
I saw like doing research after, I was like, why are my isopods trying to eat my lizards? I very much thought this problem would go in the other direction. I saw a green fly getting like dragged under substrate by a dairy cow isopod.
Oh my god, dairy cow, like I don't even, sometimes I'm like, hey, maybe I should buy dairy cows off of people, because when you have dairy cows, they like multiply and explode, but I don't think I want to keep them actually. That's so scary.
Yeah, they're really cute. They're kind of shy during the day, at least the ones that I have, like they tend to be active at night. They're pretty like, they just zoom around and they want food and they will find it, and if their protein is low and they're not getting enough from their food, they will eat each other. They will eat anything they can get their hands on if they think it's protein, and it's great.
Yeah.
They
go ahead,
eat anything they can wrap their little antenna around.
Yeah. They're so good. And just kind of an interesting, like, this is like a 2-for-1 slide, because depending on how you do your Googling, dairy cows are often called a strain of Porcellia laevis or a morph. But there are some breeders who've tried to like hybridize this quote-unquote morph with other Porcellia laevis, and have found that these in milkbacks do not. Milkbacks are another variety of isopod. Cannot breed with other Porcellia laevis. So there's a chance, especially given that the other like Porcellia laevis morphs like don't have these like protein-seeking behaviors. It may actually be like a different species that we haven't figured out yet, and that makes me super excited.
That is cool.
Ready?
Yeah, next slide. And
Is
then
it a
here on the left,
picture?
it is a picture.
Okay.
On the left, we have sweet, wonderful babies, dairy cow isopods, and there are people who make, just fun fact, like little plastic barns for you to put in your dairy cow isopod enclosure.
That's so cute.
I'm just saying.
A fun Easter egg. Well, I guess maybe not an Easter egg, isopod egg thing with my stream. The little sub badge that's in the corner when, like, next to someone's name.
Mm-hmm.
It says isopod, and it has a dairy cow on it.
Good.
It's perfect.
So if you sub, you are an official isopod. I have too many different names going on for things. I gotta commit to one.
My chat's
That's
also. I have one on my head. I don't know how well you can see it, but I got one on my head, and that's my chat mascot.
I know. I love him.
I love him.
Wonderful.
My mascot has just become Kolak. He's my mod.
That's okay.
That is a very Nep thing. Sorry, go ahead, Tiffy.
I'm just saying, he's your mod Scott.
Yeah. Well, I also drew his little image, and so since I own the file, I throw it on my stream. Yeah.
Appropriate.
Yeah. I feel like I should add. Oh God, let me. There we go. I'm gonna add Kolak because he's always on my stream, and now I feel like he should be here.
He's your mascot.
fair.
You gotta.
Mm-hmm. You gotta. But yeah, that's all I had for the dairy cows, and the one on the right here is a Porcellia laevis, which, I mean, they're pretty similar. I don't know. I'm not an entomologist or a. Actually, would.
Podologist.
I'm not that either.
I will say, I think that Porcellios have longer uropods. They're little tail flipper thingies. I think they have longer ones than armadillidiums do. So, even though they can't roll into a ball, I think that they have their own. They're more flat, you know? They're longer and flatter.
Yeah.
And that's their charm.
And the ravenous.
And they want to
protein-devouring
fucking
cannibal
eat
thing.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna get like a cleanup crew, especially if it's like a smaller lizard, maybe lean towards an armadillidium. Because dairy cows are. What?
Well, you risk them murdering your reptile. Take your risks, but you know the risks.
Know the risks. Dairy cows love to eat.
You know?
And they
The
love to
risk
make
was
more.
calculated.
Yeah,
Man, I'm bad at math.
they love to
Very
eat.
much.
They love to reproduce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's dairy cow.
Yay.
Yay monsters.
All right. I personally don't know a whole lot about rubber duckies, but we had to include them because they are. I think a lot of people are going to think that these are the cutest ones. Which one's prolific but won't munch reptiles? Do you think like a powder blue or a powder orange would be better for cleanup crew? Do you think that they'll attack?
I used the powder blue and orange just in a mix that I got from a breeder who they had like a breeding thing like crossover, so they were all mixed up. And they never attacked the lizards and were a problem. Yeah, they didn't seem to like keep up well enough, and they kept getting devoured by the lizards before they could like reproduce. Was the one thing that I ran into with them.
I guess if
But
you
I had
really
big-
want
yeah.
prolific, go for the dairy cow. Sorry, what were you saying?
Just you have to top them up regularly. At least I did with our lizards, but we had long-tailed grass lizards, and I don't know how they stack up against crested geckos diet-wise.
All right.
But yeah. Rubber duckies are very sought after, but not often owned. They are native to limestone caves in Thailand. They are very used to damp humidity, but also having that limestone. Like, they kind of need it. If you want to keep one of these, you'll have to have good humidity. You'll have to have limestone to give them. Basically, whenever you want to keep an isopod, you just have to recreate how it would live in the wild, like to the best of your ability.
Plants.
Yeah.
Yep. If you are ever unsure of, actually, I answered this in my last week. Someone was curious. Sometimes I do a general Q&A as a Saturday content stream, so people just come in and ask whatever. But this is one I addressed last week. Oh fuck. ADHD brain.
Real.
I got distracted by saying I answered this last week.
Um,
What was it?
Was it about limestone enclosures, cubaris, rubber duckies?
wild.
It's literally what we just said.
Making enclosures look
Oh,
like the wild.
Plants, where they are.
Plants.
Yes. Figure out where they're native to. What part of the world did they come from? And mimic that environment. So if you're trying to figure out what it is, that is how you look it up. Look for where it originates. Where it originates will have the environment that they thrive in.
Yeah, I think for temperature and humidity especially, that's important.
Taffy, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, what's up?
I had a question. Do you happen to know, like, do they like eat or consume the limestone, or is it like a this is what makes my footsies happy to walk on thing? Or
No, I'm
do you know?
assuming that they have to consume it, because when I was looking them up, like it said you have to get limestone for them. So I think that they do need it. I think they need to eat limestone or else they die.
Do you think it's kind of like some larger hooved animals and salt licks?
Maybe. They crave the
What would
mineral.
be- Yeah, is it
Yeah.
calcium in limestone? Could that be where they get their calcium from instead of bones or shells?
Oh,
Maybe.
isn't limestone like calcium carbonate?
That sounds
Because
right.
there's a type of rock that reacts in the same way calcium carbonate does, and I'm trying to think which. I think it might be limestone.
Maybe.
It is. Yeah, it's calcium carbonate and or dolomite. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
made often has shells and shell fragments. Yeah, maybe it's like a calcium thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of a fun theory.
And I
like
think
that.
it's
I like
just
that theory.
since the caves that they're in have so much limestone in them, they just naturally grew to have hella calcium.
Yeah, carnivorous plants. The reason my species exists is because they lacked nitrogen.
That's crazy.
So they need a source of nitrogen.
Are either of you Dune or like familiar with the Dune like IP or franchise?
My boyfriend loves it, so I know about it tangentially.
Just gonna say it sounds like limestone is like the spice for isopods.
Ooh, the spice.
I am looking up on rubberduckyisopods.com, and it says they seem to reproduce with cuttlebone calcium, so you could buy a thing of cuttlebone in like a pet store. People give that to their birds and stuff. And I think that you can do that with like most other isopods as well. That's good for them. But species colonies begin to come alive and thrive with limestone as their primary calcium source.
Awesome.
So,
Makes sense.
yeah, they just fucking love limestone.
And that's
I
way
love that
cooler.
for them.
Yeah, and that's so cool. And like an enclosure is like, yeah, I just have like a limestone slab.
Yeah.
It's for my small crustacean friends.
It's for my little ducks.
My science-minded thing goes, I want to know how they actually digest it. Do you think they like lick it and digest internally? Do you think they bite some of it? Do they like vomit on it until it breaks down and then eats that?
I
Like,
don't
I'm so
know.
curious.
I think maybe they just eat like dust off of the ground in caves, because when I'm looking at like keeping them, you would just like
Okay.
mix in powder into their substrate.
Oh, so internally digesting then.
Yeah.
I did a whole presentation once in school, and it involved something called a saproxylic digestive
Oh,
like habit. So if it's something that like spits up digestive fluid, and lets it digest on like outside externally and then eats it, the
Oh.
term is saprophilic. There's a fucking
Is
word
it-
for it.
Does it have to be the spit up? So it has to be like a fly, not like spiders where they like dissolve the insides into a
No,
slurry.
the what it means is the digestion, the actual digestion itself happens externally.
That's crazy.
So even though a spider and some things like inject something that causes them to break down, it's so that they can consume it.
Yeah.
The digestion still happens internally.
This is like if I were
So
to
they'll
throw
spit
up
up-
my
yeah.
stomach acid.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's the digestive enzymes that your body requires to create, like, there's little chemical reactions in your body, just so you know. So
What?
enzymes change, they change the structure of it. So in the same way that if you fry an egg, you cannot unfry an egg,
This is so true.
whereas some things you can melt it so you can drink it instead of it being solid. That's the difference. So, yeah,
That's
you
super
can
cool.
blend up fruit and then you can sip it, but you can the digestion and the breakdown of it still occurs it occurs internally.
Yeah, I don't think isopods are able to do that. I think they can just literally break down anything internally.
Yeah, I'm just hype over the term for it.
I like that. Say it again.
Yeah, no.
Saproxylic. Here, I'll type it so
Saproxylic.
it's in chat.
Oh. Sorry. Hit my mic a little. Saproxylic.
Welcome in. It's Mylin. I'm surprised you didn't follow me already. What the hell, Mylin?
Wow.
This tis.
She is also a STEM science VTuber from VTheorem. She specializes also in. Okay, that's fair. Also specializes. Fuck, my brain is confused. Psychology and like statistics. She's smart, but
That's
also
cool.
cool artist.
Oh.
That's super awesome.
Yeah.
We were talking
VTuber.
earlier about how none of us are good at math.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite line for that, I even said it earlier, is like, the risks were calculated, but man, I'm bad at math. Like, it's funny. Funny joke. Okay. I love Mylin. She's lovely. Everyone love her.
Yay.
But yeah, rubber duckies are real damn cute. And
Rubber
What
duckies.
I've found is if it's not the dairy cows, people who are vaguely familiar with isopods, they'll know this one.
Yeah, you might know this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's- this one and the dairy cows are like, if you are new to isopods, you don't just think of them as like little roly-polies in your basement, like you've actually had some semblance of looking at them. This is almost always the example. Dairy cows are a close second.
let me go to the picture.
And this is just what from I've found, as people have asked me about them, or
They're so cute.
a personal observation.
Agreed.
But they are expensive because unlike dairy cows, they don't make babies easy.
Yeah.
They don't want to.
Well, I think it's time for the splunger.
The splunger.
It's Splunger time.
Splunger.
Splunger! Oh, hey, Nick. How are you?
So the if you were to Google Splunger or go on your favorite social media platform, anything with embedded GIFs, and search Splunger, you'll probably see the GIF that's on the or GIF. I don't know. Don't at me.
Splunger
It's on-
versus
on the-
splunger.
Yes,
Splunger?
it's on the next page. Oh, it's the same sound. It's relevant. So there's like a whole thread on r/entomology of people trying to identify this isopod, and It seemed like the most upvoted response, and one that kind of checked out to me is a sea slater. There's Ligia exotica, which is a coastal species of isopods that are often called wharf roaches. They're
Wait.
What's that?
Sorry, not you.
Oh, okay.
Nick, where'd you get a fucking milkshake? Nick's my roommate.
I thought you were gonna ask
No,
where'd
I
you
want
get
a
an
milkshake.
edible.
Oh,
It
that
just means I can't drive. I think he's not home right now.
Five Guys
Damn.
milkshake sounds so good right now.
it sounds incredible right
Are
now.
you kidding?
I forgot to eat food.
Oh
yeah,
no.
Splunger.
Fuck.
The
Okay,
Splunger
sorry.
would probably jump in your milkshake if I had to guess.
True. Tell us about the Splunger.
Mhm, mhm. I mean, that's like they're kind of a global isopod. We were talking about invasive species and stuff earlier. These are kind of one of those. They've kind of, if you go somewhere where there's a port, there's probably a wharf roach.
Mhm.
But they're just little guys. These are the ones I was talking about earlier, Taffy, that seem to be like the one isopod any of us found that like lay their eggs in crevices and then carry them around with them, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool.
That's
And they're-
unlike like the other, basically every other isopod we're talking about carries its babies in a little marsupium pouch that's like on its stomach basically, but apparently the Splunger doesn't. I didn't know this.
It's just a special little guy.
I love
And
it.
Nep, of course, loves it for the presence in Animal Crossing.
There's another
Animal
tag on my stream. It's
Crossing.
just Animal Crossing ho.
Animal Crossing. I think I've gotten back into Animal Crossing recently.
Nice. But yeah, these are not commonly kept as pets. They die really quickly from any like commentary I was able to find from hobbyists of it seems like it's just hard to recreate. They tend to live on like cliffs and rocky areas and in like tidal zones. And that, you know what? I don't know how I would make a tidal
Put
isopod enclosure.
salt in
like-
your bathtub.
And then just like go in and kick the water periodically.
Yeah, just splash it every hour.
I think you nailed it. I think you're gonna be the #1 wharf roach farmer in your region.
I'm figuring out the strats.
But yeah, that's all I had for them. I think it's time to see the GIF.
It's
Yeah.
great. And
Whatever.
It's so good. The
It's so
Splunger.
good. That jump.
Ah.
He only jumps once, we have to like reload it every single time.
I know, I can't get it to work as a GIF in this stupid thing.
Alas.
Yeah.
That's a
but,
good jump.
Like, come on.
Really, one more jump. Yo, it's an
more? Hypocrite.
amazing jump.
I
I
fucking
have
love
the-
sticks the landing.
Yeah.
I know, and it like
beautiful.
clings.
And look at that cute little tail.
Jumping spiders
deep.
could never.
God, I love it. And the little, like, what do you call it? Not recoil, but the fact that he kind of, like, shakes upon impact.
He's adorable.
It's so good.
I like
I
this
think
guy.
Oh yeah, I have this. I don't remember what it is, but there's some exclamation point I have set up that makes this pop up on my screen because you
Good.
gotta. Mhm.
Okay, so this one is written in my color text. This is my absolute favorite, but ISO did the looking up of them. So I'm gonna let her do the
Oh
talking.
no! Oh no! Oh, but it's
You
your
just read the
favorite.
full, you read the full
You
sentences.
know the
I will
ins-
just
you
give
know
my
the info.
context about them.
Okay, it's Nep's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
No context. I'm gonna make this so painful. I know they're native to European forests and grasslands and rocky areas, but they
Oh,
were
that's
introduced to
super
North
interesting.
America. I wasn't gonna say anything. It's fine. But yeah, they're I guess imports to North America and not native. They come from Europe.
I think that's just kind of
Um,
how they all started, TB.
That's fair. They
Yeah.
all came from somewhere east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Fun
are talking
fact,
about roly polies.
Science has not nailed down the origins of things like watermelon and cucumbers.
Hmm.
hate that.
There's no consensus around the globe as to where exactly they originate. Because they're found all over the place.
That's great.
Yeah, and not specifically watermelons and cucumbers, but like a whole little group of them.
Those like vining melon type.
Yeah. There's no consensus yet.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things I learned in school. It's such a random fact, but it's neat.
I'm
Okay.
stealing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I interrupted. You go.
No, I didn't know if you wanted me to like take breaks in between each line, or like if you were gonna do it all at the end.
I'll do most of it at the end. I just want to talk about why I love them.
Pretty sure all
okay.
food starts in Grandma Kitchen.
True. But spinicornis is they're named for their spined lateral front lobes, which I think is very neat.
Spinicornis.
And they don't have a lot of morphs, and they are a little more challenging to keep than a lot of the other ones we talked about that are kept as pets.
And I've never even heard of these ones until like we were doing this.
So the difficulty in keeping them is often related to how common they are in human captivity. So that's where domestication comes in. So they are more attuned to that environment of being in an enclosure. So they don't require things like diapause, although some do. So it's usually related to how often and how long that they've been domesticated by humans. The further along, the more generations of them, the more adapted they've become to this environment. Because those are going to be the ones that survive, right? Each generation, those are the ones that survive the best.
That's why you should also get them from breeders.
The thing is, though, with behavior like that, you can have some of the same species that comes from breeder 1 in this environment and breeder 2 in this kind of enclosure environment, and their offspring might have different preferences because their generations are over here, the other one's generations are over here. They're just attuned to it. It's kind of like if you are like me and from Canada, you cannot function in 40 degree weather.
I can't even turn 40 into
90 to 100.
Yeah, meanwhile
I cannot. I am so uncomfortably unable to function. Like,
yeah, 104.
I'm a-okay with bundling up and wandering around in minus 40, which is the same in Celsius and Fahrenheit.
Not me.
Because I experience that. So I'm acclimatized to it.
That makes sense.
Meanwhile,
the more likely they are to have been born in said enclosure and environment, the more likely they are tolerant to it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be super interesting then over, like, you have a couple of breeders who've both been around for like 10 or 15 years, and people who maybe get their isopods from more than one spot and are like, why is there all this conflicting information out here?
Yeah. Another really good common example is something like a labradoodle or a golden doodle. When they were first becoming popular, the only reason you could have one is because its parents were a lab and a poodle. We are a decade plus into them being a really popular dog that the genetics are now diverse enough amongst the population that they can have purebred golden doodle, meaning the parents are also them. So
I did not realize that people were actually like breeding labradoodles. I thought they were still all hybridized.
Nope. We've gotten far enough in that you can have a labradoodle who's, 100% labradoodle.
That's crazy. And I think that's how isopod morphs work too.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly though, isopod keeping in many ways is like dog breeding. It's so similar.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
It's fun.
I love the concept. We do it in plants too. It's how you get different shapes and petals on the same type of plant at the greenhouse.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is my brickwork isopod. They're not the most crazy looking. Like, they're pretty common. Some of them have like no yellow coloration. Some of them are bright yellow spotted down the back.
I like that.
They're pretty unassuming. Some of the ones I see are almost more gray tinted. I love them. They're my favorite. I find them on the ground all the time. These are the only ones I really see where I live. I've very rarely ever seen an isopod that kind of looks different.
That's crazy because I've never seen these in my area. I only ever see armadillidiums, like the first one we went over.
So each region has different kinds, which is why we were saying earlier, don't release the ones you didn't catch in your own yard.
Do not do that. It's a biohazard.
We live in North America, and the ones we see in our own regions are vastly different. But these ones don't roll.
No, tragic.
I've never heard of a roll-up one that lives in my region.
Yeah.
Not naturally. So, I love their antennae. You'll see that they're like bent backwards in that picture. So they really do bend completely all over the place, and sometimes they'll stick forward, and it's, yeah. Sometimes they move backwards or side to side. Both of those joints move back and forth.
They'll just be like this, like all the time with their antennas. They'll just be like...
It's kind of like I said, like a cane if you're visually impaired. You're just checking out, tapping, seeing what's there around you, so you don't run into it.
Close your eyes and hold out your
like
arms
sniffing.
and start feeling around.
Like,
it's just like that.
Yeah.
Whenever people anthropomorphize things, you always see like ears turn into, you know, like my antenna on my head are instead of ears. But whenever I see like these ones specifically, make me think that like if someone's ever like a mask presenting isopod, I really hope they have like a bendy arm mustache, like a handlebar.
Oh, I kind of have like my chat mascot kind of does that, but like not really.
I need to zoom. I'm zooming as far as I can.
A small image on my screen. I want to show you guys my my 2.0 design that I'm very slowly working on and have been talking about for over a year. It fuck did it go? I thought I clicked that.
I see what you mean, Tacky, and I love it. I had not noticed that before.
So this doodle I've done of the 2.0, there are antenna isopods, or isopod antenna, and then the plates over the arm are isopod plates.
Let's go! I love that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Again, Easter eggs that are not Easter themed.
Isopod
But it could
eggs.
involve eggs.
Okay. On from the brickwork. Also, Razor Breeze, thank you very much for the follow.
Oh, hello, Razor. Okay, this is me again. So these do not have a common name, and I'm kind of sure this would be Hemelepistus pavlovsky, I think, if I'm not butchering it. And these are from, at least as far as I have been able to find, found in Xinjiang, China. This is like the longest boy in isopods. This is the limousine. I know people say millipedes are isopod limousines, but this is the actual isopod limousine.
Millipedes aren't even related to isopods. And also there's something out there called a pill millipede or a pillipede, and a lot of people are like, what kind of isopod is this? It's not one.
How dare they? Evil, hurtful.
Beginning of the stream, when I was showing you guys that higher classification, centipedes and millipedes branch off under Arthropoda. So they break off there. So that's the distinction that, well, all of these things don't have a spine, and then under that there's more definitive characteristics. So like centipedes, 1 pair of legs per segment. Millipedes, 2 pairs of legs per segment. Mites, not the same as spiders. ...
Yeah, very much. This is the actual isopod limousine.
Oh yeah, Mick has a, I think a centipede VTuber streamer that he follows, and that's her
awesome.
centipede emotes.
That's really cute.
I will have to
I love it.
find this person because I only know masked centipedes. And
Oh, I
we
know
don't have good gender
Nayo.
representation. Okay.
Her design is so fucking cool.
It's so good.
I'm checking this out later. But yeah, that's the whole thing about these. There's not a lot of info other than they're another very like particular species. Again, very little information. This is the I referenced earlier. There's like an Instagram page of someone saying, I'm only the second person in the US to get them to even breed. And that happened this February, allegedly.
Let's go.
They are technically the world expert.
Yeah, because they're the only one that knows anything.
Well, there's someone
Have the most
locally
info.
there's someone in Xinjiang, China that probably like grew up with them. And
That's
this person in
true.
the US is the only person from, I guess, not there.
The
But
only
yeah,
not Chinese person who knows things.
But yeah, they're picky. They're another super picky one. All my favorites are really, I don't know, scrungly
You
and
want
stubborn
the-
and don't want to live.
Ready for the image?
Yeah, show it off.
Look at him, he's long!
So long.
His antennae are like crazy, like they don't need to be that long.
You just know this one's a good jumper too. Like it has the anatomy. It could probably sling itself.
Wait, did they find a new isopod in Antarctica? Hold on.
I mean, it's possible along coastlines because there would be decaying small plant matter like the, not algae, but lichens and stuff. But they wouldn't be living in central areas where the ice never thaws because they do need decomposing material in order to eat.
There are some at the bottom of the ocean, which is where all the decomposing material is, so...
Yeah.
But I don't think that there's any land Antarctica isopods. I don't know what they would find to eat there, like straight up.
Yeah.
I would almost expect that if there are, they're also just transplants that came there on a boat because
Yeah, probably.
scientists get supplies by a boat there.
Addictive, for your question, air is a little bit subjective when it comes to breathing. So they need oxygen. That's what they take in for respiration. The gas exchange at a cell level, that's what respiration is. So we breathe in and out, and that's in order to take in the atmosphere's content. And then it does shit in our body. That's why the bloodstream transits around the whole thing. Words. Not everything breathes that way, but they still need oxygen to do the same thing internally. So there is oxygen in the soil. That's how you get worms. There is oxygen in the water. That's why you have things with gills.
Yeah, isopods technically have gills, but they will drown if you submerge them.
Yeah, so different ways of breathing. Insects are neat. I would assume isopods do this. Well, actually, terrestrial isopods. I would assume terrestrial isopods are the same. Insects don't breathe actively. They breathe passively. So there's no energy used to pull air in. There's no energy used to push air out. They have pores on their surface that just does it because they're so small that their bodies can do this.
Here, I'm on, let's see, oceanexplorer.noaa.gov. So,
Okay.
I'm gonna take the .gov as a pretty legit thing. And sometimes when it comes to NOAA oceanexploration.gov, I trust this. So the ones that live in the ocean, like, they breathe, quote unquote, they have gills. They can take the oxygen out of the water. The ones that live on land have developed air sacs that function as a gas exchange organ. They just have to get kind of wet and like a little moist. I think isopods need to be a little bit wet at all times, and that's how they can breathe.
They don't live in dry environments. They need the damp.
They need the damp. And they need the damp for their they're not lungs, but for their air organs to work.
Yeah, so it is the same as insects then. Being terrestrial means they don't have gills. They don't need to move water through and pull oxygen out of water. They just pull it out of the atmosphere. Insects are exactly the same. They have a porous surface that allows gas exchange. Plants are also the same. That's why they don't breathe in the way that we can see it. There's no, like, inhale, exhale. But you also can't keep a plant in a plastic bag because it will die. It needs air.
Also, isopods.
Some things that start like sorry.
It's okay.
When it comes to bugs, though, some of them do have both in their life cycles of being aquatic and terrestrial. So dragonflies do this. When they are hatched, they live under the water or in the water, and they have gills. But when they go through their metamorphosis and turn into an adult, they have the air exchange, the gas exchange in their exoskeleton. So sometimes they do both. I also assume, well, actually, I don't know. I don't think isopods do that because they don't go through metamorphosis.
Do what? I don't think so.
Well, they don't go through that phase where they
No,
pupate and turn into goo and then come out as an adult.
No. From the time they hatch, they always kind of, even as like a little baby, like they're see-through a little bit. They're kind of transparent, but like you can tell, like, oh, that looks like an isopod. Every dragonfly is a water type, true.
Okay.
But only as a baby.
Only as a baby, and then they're a dragon type.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, we're on to the Leikensphera Rugicauda?
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, these are, I think the first one that's been like a different, this is one of the like more aquatic isopods. I don't think these fall under the same like suborder. And for me, these are just a stand-in for all the interesting aquatic ones that don't get much love or recognition, but they are super cute. They are super small. These ones don't even have like a common name, also kind of like the last one. And
so
they live in
like the
oh,
ones that would have gills.
Yes.
Well,
I
they all have gills, but these ones probably do better with the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like the
and
deep sea ones have gills, but also terrestrial ones have gills.
Yeah, that's super confusing to me. I'm guessing it's like
The terrestrial ones, you know, maybe the reason they're so small is because they had to evolve special air sacs. And they can't get any bigger because then they'd have to evolve bigger air sacs, and that's why all the big ones live in the water, question mark?
White insects also seem to have a limit to how big they can get. It's the same system to breathe. You can't have passive respiration once they get to a certain size. There's no way that much oxygen is able to move through them. You'd have to be moving at top speeds all the time.
We're never gonna get
Hummingbird
giant land
rules.
isopod.
Yeah. That's why
So
we
sad.
need to breathe in, breathe out. We have to pull it in, because if you just open your mouth, you're never going to get enough air.
Can confirm. I did not feel like I was getting more air just now.
Technically, there's gas exchange, but it's like maybe right around your lips. So, yeah, that's why. It's also why you had massive fucking dragonflies thousands of millennia ago, hundreds of millennia ago, is because there was a higher concentration of oxygen in the atmosphere. Yeah, and so as that dissipated, they shrunk.
So sad. They'll never return to their former glory.
Maybe.
Only you can bring back vast amounts of oxygen in the air.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, these
Something to
little
look
guys
into.
just live in like. Oh, sorry.
No, it's just something to look into.
Did I go too fast?
No.
No. I just. The
No,
last bit
no.
was just where they live.
Okay.
They just live in like salty water around like Britain and Ireland and the Netherlands, and I love how like specific that is.
I can't.
This is.
They're so fucking cute.
They're so cute. They're small and round, and they have no spiny bits. They are small and smooth like my brain.
They're just
And I
little
love them.
guys.
They're just little guys. That's all I had for them. Also, I need.
I know you're
really
trying to
badly.
say killed, but like kissed is a great alternative.
Because we kissed the big ones. We kissed them to death.
There are worse ways to go. But yeah, can I step away and pee real quick? I'm so sorry. I was waiting for like
Oh,
an
yeah.
ad break or something.
Go piss,
but-
girl.
Let's do that. Let's just pause here.
Yeah, that's
be
like
right
this
back.
is a good place to pause actually.
Let me throw my. Oh, do you want to just go to a BRB then, and then like
Yeah, I will.
come back in a couple minutes?
Yeah.
That works for me.
All right, we'll be
Sounds
back
good.
to talk more about isopods.
I'm so sorry.
PRB.
Yippee!
Mhm.
Take it away, bitches.
Oh wait, hold on. I gotta hold up. Ah!
Oh no. Brain back on track. Small, cute round things.
So we talked a whole lot about isopods. And we were talking about keeping isopods as pets. And why would you keep isopods as pets? Well, maybe you have a bioactive animal enclosure, like a lizard or a snake or something, and you need a cleanup crew.
Question from the audience, because I don't know anything about this. What is a bioactive terrarium?
Ooh, what does that mean? It means you've got like things, a bunch of stuff living in it. You've got plants and you've got animals and you've also got things that can break down, like decompose, like an isopod can. So that way you have an active contained ecosystem. It's an ecosystem that can run on its own for the most part. I mean, you still probably have to feed your animals, you know, but you've got a cleanup crew in there taking care of anything like moldy or decomposing. You've got plants that get more energy and sustenance from that soil that now has like decomposed nutrients in it. It's not just like a lizard in a box, you know? You have like stuff going on in there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Have you done like bioactive enclosures at all, Taffy, for your like setups, or were they like
I have
isopod
not.
only
I have
things?
just kept isopods and then springtails in there, and we'll talk about that in a bit too.
Okay. If anyone has questions, I have done the bioactive thing, so I'm happy to answer in my very limited experience.
I've never kept any, so don't ask me this stuff.
You
This is why they're
should.
here.
This is
I
me
should, but
encouraging you
I'm
and
too busy.
everyone.
I'm too busy caring for my plants and my plant addiction that I just I can't do it all.
I get it.
I would
You've
love
already got
to.
babies.
Yeah, and a chinchilla.
Yeah, that and a
He's
chinchilla.
pretty- He's a pretty fuzzy baby.
Yeah, he's probably a little more high maintenance than an isopod.
A little bit more snuggly. I mean, also a prey animal, pretty skittish, but
Well, isopods are skittish too.
yeah, I love him. He shits a lot. Chinchillas shit like 500 times a day.
Do they?
It's so much cleaning. At least they're like little pellet things. You can like vacuum them up.
There is a I read about something getting ready for this that isopods do called alternate turns, where it's like a very fancy word for they zigzag to evade predators. They just like, what if I turn left and now I'm gonna turn right? You didn't see that
Zigzag.
coming.
Zigzag!
Getting juked out.
I love that. That's great.
But yeah, you can keep isopods as helpers in a different enclosure of a larger animal, or you can keep isopods as pets on their own, and that's what I have more experience with. And it's a fun and relatively simple hobby. Like, once you have, the hardest part is getting the materials and equipment, but once you have like everything you need, and the next slide is everything you'll need, it's not a lot, but once you have it, you're good. Like, you don't have to do anything else besides like check in on them every couple days. But you can, let me see what I even write in this. You can craft an enclosure from a plastic tub or purchase one from a hobby shop online. Isopod keeping is one of those things where like there's definitely correct ways to do it, but the ways that you get to that are like, if you're using hot glue, like fuck yeah, you know. We'll talk more about it, but many reptile
Hot glue sounds
keepers.
I was just saying a hot glue enclosure sounds hilarious.
Hot glue enclosure. Hey, if the isopods like it.
Imagine. Do you guys remember like 5-minute crafts and you'd see like
Oh my
people
god,
making like
yeah.
hot glue flip flops and shit?
Yeah.
It's really giving me that.
I don't have it. I didn't bring any pictures of what mine looked like. Just imagine like a tiny little plastic box with dirt in it, and that's kind of all you need.
Yeah, it's like what a terrarium would look like, but it doesn't have to be a glass terrarium.
Yeah. Doesn't have to. I wish I had a glass one. That'd be nice. But those are a little more expensive. My favorite resource for isopod supplies is Russ from Aquarimax Pets, aquarimax.com. He has a YouTube channel. He is basically like where I learned the majority of my information from. He's been keeping isopods for years. He's where I got my zebras from. And yeah, so for me personally, if you want to start keeping isopods, I recommend going to Russ. He's great. I think that's it for like
You-
this slide, yeah. How to keep isopod. You can decorate their enclosures a lot. You just gotta make sure you get the fundamentals. And here's the fundamentals. All isopods are different. They require slightly different things. We talked about how the rubber ducky, you need limestone because they like limestone. They're all slightly different, but they all need. You need to have ventilation. You need to have like actual airflow in your enclosure. You can't just have a closed plastic box. But you also need to make sure that they can't escape through whatever ventilation because they will climb and they will try to get out of your stuff. So you can do either very, very tiny holes or, and this is where the hot glue comes in, right? You drill a big hole. You get a mesh filter, a fine mesh filter, and you hot glue the mesh filter onto the plastic tub. And that's like the cheapest, easiest way that you can have an isopod enclosure. And then you need a moisture gradient. Now, what does a moisture gradient mean? Isopods need to be constantly a little bit damp, but they are smart enough to know what they need and when they need it. They are smart enough to know, oops, I think I need a little more water. So what you do is, on your enclosure, you have one half of it, and you're gonna put moss. The other half of it, you don't need the moss, but on one half of it, you're gonna put moss. And every time that moss gets dry, you're gonna mist it with water. And that way, the isopods, the smart little crafty isopods, when they're thirsty, they just walk into the moss. And they drink water from, they actually drink water through their butts. But they get their water from the moss, they drink water, and then they're like, I've had too much water. And then they leave the moss. And then they go to the dry side of the enclosure. And that's the moisture gradient. Do not give them bowls of water. If you keep, you were saying ISO, since you keep lizards, you have to have like bowls of water.
Yeah, and they are very much isopod drowning water parks.
Isopods will drown in big bowls of water. So all you need to do to water them is give them damp moss.
It's a little sad, but pools and like little pools and things often do the same to bees because bees cannot swim. They get wet, they're pretty much fucked. And if they're looking for water and that's water, they often will like, even if they try and land near the water surface, it's really easy for them to end up in it, and because it's too deep, like they can't get out of it.
That's so sad.
Yeah, so like if you keep like a little like flashy plastic pool in your backyard, like if, I don't know, some people do for their dogs and stuff, or just to put their feet in, empty it fairly regularly if you aren't using it, because then you will prevent that.
And you also prevent
Also, if you wanna
mosquitoes
build
too.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. When people say that you can leave things out like a bee waterer, something to attract bees so they can drink water, it's usually just a shallow dish with something that they can land on. You never fill the dish to cover the, like marbles or something. Like you can put marbles, and you just make sure it never covers the top of the marble. Then the bees have something to land on.
That's good
But
to
you
know.
gotta consider how big they are, so you can't put something big as a landing pad, because they have tiny little legs.
I will keep this in mind.
That actually, yeah, that sounds super cute actually.
I'm gonna make a
It's
bee
why the moss
watering
works,
hole.
because the moss holds the water. It's not sitting in a pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food. How to feed isopods. So, in your enclosure, not only are you going to have moss, you are also going to have a substrate. I said substrate like later on, but you're gonna have a substrate, which is the dirt that they live in. And you're going to have leaf litter, which is just dry leaves that you would find like on the ground outside if you're walking through the woods. You can totally source these from outside, but you need to bake them in the oven first. I don't know the exact like temperature, but you aquariumax.com. And you can also buy leaf litter that is pre-sanitized. That's what you have to do. You have to sanitize it in the oven by baking the leaves. But you can get pre-sanitized leaves.
Fish tanks, don't take logs you find outside and put them in, because you're introducing stuff that you don't want.
Yeah.
The ones you get at a pet store, the reason they're more expensive, I can't guarantee there isn't also like price gouging, but at some level they have to have a bigger cost than you might expect for a log, because there's a sanitation process.
Yeah, that's the same definitely for these. If you're taking guys from your backyard and you're keeping them, whatever, man, they've already got outdoor elements. But if you are purchasing isopods online, you got to make sure that the things that you're getting them are also like clean, because you're buying clean isopods from like a breeder. You got to also get them clean food, a clean hide, clean supplies. Don't mix backdoor bugs and designer internet purchases.
Make sure that your doctors are wearing protective gear when they're working on you.
So true.
Same reason.
So true.
Right? You just don't want to introduce stuff that might be there. Is it guaranteed? No. But, you know...
You want to waste your money?
I'm not going to drink out of that weird puddle.
Oh, for
I'll
real.
I'll get some, like, actual purified water.
Yeah. I'm going to have a bottle of water instead of the whatever's going on in the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all the same concept there. You just... Yes, it might not change how you interact with it, but that's because it doesn't consume you. So it's not designed to have any effect on you, but it doesn't mean it won't affect the isopods.
You're keeping pets. You got to think about it.
Yeah. It's all fun and games until you bring a log into your isopod enclosure and it's full of other isopods that all have iridovirus. Just dozens of them.
We're gonna get into the virus after this one too, but like you don't want to bring, or like if it's got like mites or something, isopods can get mites. You don't want to bring that into your home.
Yeah, is bad. Okay.
Yeah. Food. Okay, yeah, food, leaf litter. They can also be given fish flakes. I literally have a thing of fish flakes. I don't have fish, but I have isopods. You can give them fish flakes. You can give them... Aquariumax has, like, a special powdered supplement that's got, like, all of their vitamins and nutrients they would need. I would, like, every couple days, I would either give them a fish flake or I would give them a tiny scoop of the powder. You can give them snacks like fruit or shrimp tails or whatever. The only thing you gotta keep in mind is you do not want anything you're putting in there to get moldy. So you want to put in a tiny little amount of stuff, make sure they eat it all, and if they don't eat it all, take it out. Because if it gets moldy in there, it's gonna get fucking gross in there. And then, yeah, don't do that.
I feed my dairy cows like random organic vegetable stuff and Rapeshi morning wood because you can cook that into a jelly, and I like watching them eat the jelly.
Yeah, they like Rapashi, either morning wood or bug burger. I think they like bug burger too.
I haven't tried them on that. Noted.
What are those?
They're like, I don't really know what, are they for lizards technically? They're just like little food pellets and powders and stuff that you can get at the pet store.
Rapashi's like a green, like, I guess all of your nutritional needs that you would need for, like, it. They sell them at the local place where I've bought isopods before, and you can, like, just sprinkle the powder in with water, and allegedly they'll eat it like that, or you can, like, cook it and make, like, a, like, Jell-O, but for bugs.
I've never made them Jell-O before.
Interesting.
But yeah, one of the products is called Morning Wood. I don't know why.
Because a very sweet older woman probably named it.
Yes, no ill intentions whatsoever.
Oh, I never thought about the name until just now.
Really?
Oh, I'm so ashamed.
You, I would assume, would.
You're the one that has it.
Oh, I'm so... Okay. Well, it's on brand. I'll just say that.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Hiding places. Isopods like to hide under things. Give them a big hide. Give them a big log. Give them something that they can hide under. If they are hiding under something, they are happy.
Yeah.
Substrate. Oh, yeah.
Find them in nature by going out and flipping rocks.
Yeah. They love living
Love a
under
good rock
rocks.
flipping.
Oh yeah, I had a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go.
I had a completely round piece of cork bark. And my dairy cows really liked to they would climb around it and crowd into it, so they were fully ringing it. So if you took I took a picture through the center of it, and it was just a little circular tunnel of isopods defying gravity.
Cute.
With light showing through, and that's very satisfying to have hides where you can observe them, but they feel safe and secure still.
That's good. I gotta look into that.
Nice.
I think that the hide that I had a pretty small enclosure. I think the hide I had was literally a piece of egg carton, like the paper egg cartons, but flipped upside down.
Man,
Ooh.
fucking classic. That's like cats in boxes.
Yeah. They liked it on that thing.
It's because it can retain moisture too. It keeps their little feeties happy.
That makes sense.
So I can answer this question in the comments in chat because Nep didn't have, sorry, not Nep, Isopod didn't have, Nep, you've never kept isopods, but Iso, you've never had ones that roll up before.
I have not. Well, I guess the powder blues and oranges, but I've never seen them do it. So I guess maybe not them either.
I've had the ones that roll up, and they only do that if you're gonna pick them up. And even then, sometimes they might especially I think if they're the ones that are bred and they know people, they're more curious. The ones that I had were very, very curious, and they would tell me when they were hungry. I had my enclosure on my desk. It's basically it would sit underneath my PC, so they would always be in front of me. And if they were hungry, they would run up to the side of the enclosure where I could see them from, and they would just scrape at it. They'd be like, please, please, we need food. And then I'd go feed them, and they'd all just run to the food. And it was so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's amazing.
I loved them. They were good bees.
Oh.
But they
Which
only.
kind were these? I need to go.
These
buy
are the
some.
zebras. You gotta get
Okay.
zebras, guys. They're friendly.
New zebra
That's
fan. I'm
adorable.
converted.
Let's go.
So cute.
Um.
Oh, I don't know if that. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. You do you.
Substrate. Substrate is the fancy word for special dirt. It is, they live in it, they burrow in it, they also consume it, they eat it. It needs to be healthy enough for them. The easiest way to do it is coconut fiber, but that's not all of the nutrients they need. So you can also purchase it online or make a fancy recipe yourself. Once again, Russ, Aquarimax Pets, he has his own substrate recipe. I've used it before, it works perfectly fine. Yes. Arcelio Hoffman. Oh, you need springtails. The cleanup crew needs a cleanup crew. You can get springtails from aquariumpets.com. Also, that's crazy. Aquariumax.com. I don't remember. Aquariumax. Springtails are even smaller than isopods, and they clean up all of the stuff that isopods leave behind that they can't. They eat the isopod poop. Isopods eat everything and then turn it into poop, and then springtails eat that poop and then break it down even further.
I think the springtails help. Oh, go ahead.
Insecta group, so they would be insects.
Mhm.
They're hexapods, so they aren't from the same category. So you're technically
they're-
having bugs and ice.
And they eat. They also eat mold and fungus, right? So they help keep
Yeah.
them nasty.
They do help prevent mold, yeah. Isopods are not insects. They're crustaceans.
Insects are defined by having 6 legs. So that's why they split into different categories.
And isopods have like 14, I think.
Yeah, it's like 7 pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a hexapod, it's an insect. The other groups of things from this whole arthropod category, they have their own definitions and features, but they wouldn't be 6-legged. That's what specifically makes insects insects. So a spider is not an insect. It has 8 legs. It has 2 body parts. Different thing. Doesn't mean they don't behave similarly and have the same environment and stuff. They're just a different species. And yeah.
What is a fairy wasp? I don't know what that is.
They're just itty bitty wasps.
Itty bitty wasps. They can
If
fly?
you want to hang out if you want to hang out with me at the end of stream and ask again, we can look at them and go through that.
Okay, bet. I don't know what would happen if you put them in with isopods. Experiment. Don't do that. But yeah, that is like all of the materials you need to keep isopods is substrate, leaf litter, extra types of food, and then a hide, and moss to give them water, and springtails to clean everything up. Literally the only maintenance you have to do is check. You don't want to even check in on these guys every day. Honestly, isopods grow less if you look at them. They like to be left alone, and they grow more if you leave them alone. So just like every couple of days or every week or so, check that moss, make sure it's like wet enough. Don't leave any drops of water or anything behind because you don't want them to drown, but just make sure that the moss is wet enough. And make sure that they've got enough leaf litter and then maybe a little snack, and then leave them alone and they will thrive. Put them somewhere dark and temperate, and they will be very happy.
The temperate is super important because we keep our house pretty chilly, like 65 degrees Fahrenheit in the basement or cooler. So we actually had to get a heating pad for our isopods, which felt really silly. But if you do that, you have to put the heating pad on like one side because they can't really, if you're heating up the whole bottom, they can't get away from the heat. So you have to like keep it like it's a very small heating pad with covering very little of the bottom, but just giving them the option to go over there if they get cold.
That's crazy. I live in a warm enough environment. It was actually a heat wave that ended up killing my colony, so.
Oh no.
But that's interesting to know that you have to have a heat pad for them.
If it's to like I think the dairy cows are like 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit is where they're comfortable.
Oh no, it was like
It was
110 in the summer.
That'd do it.
Yeah.
I think that would kill just about any isopod if I had to guess.
Yeah, I honestly had no choice. I was just like, it's over. It's so over.
That's so sad.
Yeah. They were old anyways. They were old and they weren't making babies, so.
Well, are you ready for the next slide?
I think we're ready for the next slide.
All right.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
Guys.
Put on a morning mask. Very sad moment.
Don't know which of you two is going to read this one, but I just want to point out that the color of the title is the same color of this.
Yeah, I can read it because I wrote this out. So,
yeah.
If you happen to find a beautiful deep blue purple isopod, or if one of your isopods happens to turn blue, that's bad. That's really bad. This is iridovirus. And literally what it does is it crystallizes the isopod. It creates a crystalline structure that looks bluish purplish, and it turns your isopod into a crystal. and it kills them. It's like literally 100% lethal. And this is like the most common isopod illness. They can get mites and stuff, and that's not good for them, but irritavirus will fucking kill them. Yeah, basically. Like, it doesn't, it's technically like a paracrystal. It's not a real, like, crystal mineral, but it's like a crystalline structure that when the light hits it, it looks blue. And it also kills your fucking isopods. And so if one of your isopods ever turns blue, get it out of there immediately. You need to separate it from the rest of them, or else the rest of them will catch it. I heard, I don't know if this is true, but what I heard was they catch it by, like, eating a... Like, if one of them dies from irritavirus and then the other ones eat its body, they'll catch it, and that's how it spreads. I don't know.
Oh, it's isopod prions. Okay. That's hugely oversimplified.
No, like, literally, though. But... Yeah, you do not want your isopods to catch this, or else they will all catch it and then they will all fucking die. So what you have to do is you have to separate them, and if you want to cull them, send them out to pasture, you pop them in your freezer for 3 days. Put them in like a little Tupperware, pop them in your freezer for 3 days, and they will fall asleep, and they will no longer be with us. But, however, some isopod species, like the powder blue, and that's probably like the only one I think, are naturally blue in color. So you gotta be careful, you gotta like keep an eye out for those ones specifically because they're already blue. But if one of your isopods that was not blue turns blue, it's bad. You don't want that. I think I have a picture. Our next slide is a picture of it.
Are you ready?
Yeah. So you can see in this picture at the bottom, there's like a healthy isopod, normal grayish black color, and then at the top, we have a bright indigo. You would think it's beautiful. Like, everyone's first instinct is, oh my god, that's a beautiful blue isopod. No. It's not. It's dying. It's bad. But I love him. He is so beautiful in blue, but it's bad.
Blue is such an unusual color in nature that it's like, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like a sapphire.
Yeah.
Crystal methapod.
You know, it's kind of funny. Have you guys seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, do you remember the Earth King who put those crystals on their finger?
Oh, yeah.
And
Maybe.
it like slowly engulfed them over time.
Okay, yeah. That's this.
Yeah,
That's straight up this.
That is really funny.
Interesting.
But yeah, I had to put in a irritavirus slide because like I need everyone to know that this is a thing that can happen. Like, be so careful.
Yeah, it's not too uncommon for new hobbyists and new isopod keepers to think they've found a new morph because no seller will sell this. Yeah, it's not, unfortunately.
No, your buddy's just terminally ill.
I will say, this is giving me a new redeem idea, but...
Awesome. Well, cool. You know, that kind of brings us around to the end. This is my list of additional resources. I know you two linked to resources on the actual slides themselves, but I had some that I really liked, but I didn't actually use them on a slide. So here's a couple
More
of things that
information.
have really good info. Also, all pretty good resources. I looked through what they do, and they look pretty legit. Again, it's not actual primary research information. Make sure it's like reporting on something you haven't seen. You can read as much as you want, but it's not the same thing as interacting with it. So
I love that one
cool.
of those is an S3 link.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so... Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just interesting.
I hadn't looked at this reference that you have in there before, and that's actually
I
the
added
visual
it
reference is
Very
so good.
close to being finished it.
Oh, that makes sense. This is a really good chart.
Is it the last link or?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, this one. There's so many.
Right, and it's like a good level of detail.
Yeah. Oh, hella morphs. Like, if you want to know what a morph is, you see how these are all Porcellia, 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 but they're all different morphs.
Here, I'll pull it up as well for everyone.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Ba-da-dum. So, this image is... And we're not seeing both sides of it right now because I don't want to change the screen size. It'll fuck with the PowerPoint. So,
Fair.
you found an isopod in Rain World? Hell yeah.
I didn't know there
Yeah.
were isopods in Rain World. That's awesome.
Yeah, so here's like your, what is this? This is your wild type zebra. So this is not a morphed zebra, it's just a zebra.
Yeah, I had chocolates. You can see that the chocolates are like more of a brown than the wild types are more black and white. I had
They're
chocolate.
so pretty.
But yeah, this is one of the links on the slides, and I currently have a link to the slides pinned to the top of my chat. So you could quickly access it right there. I don't have it posted anywhere else yet.
Look, there's the magic
You can
potion. You
access
can
all of
kind
that.
of see. Yeah, thank you for including
kinda
this
nice.
link.
Mm. Thank you, man.
They were just things I didn't end up using, but I would have if it was that much detail.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Anything else?
Any
Just one more
questions?
time. Yeah. Yeah, so either questions and just one more time before we do fully wrap up. For those of you who missed the beginning of the stream, this is a brief bio of who we each are. I'm Nep, short for Nepenthes. It's my botanical name. I'm a carnivorous pitcher plant. I teach garden education professionally, and I also do it as a hobby here. I'm licensed. I have my background, my bachelor's of science in horticulture. My scope of practice with my license is education. And yeah, so I may be a professional gardener, but I'm very unprofessional here.
You're a professional Canva slides maker.
Hell yeah. Thank you. I take pride in that. Thank you.
Oh, you did an amazing job. You
Yeah.
should.
Thank you for your hard work. Like you did the
Mhm.
heavy lifting here straight up.
Good old edutainment content around here. I often stream really late at night, and so a lot of people come for the real cozy hours. But
Can
that
confirm
would be
our
me.
cozy.
And then
Hi, my name is Taffy. I am a coyote gal. I'm a fashionista and idol lover, and also maybe one day future idol. That would be awesome. I am a hobbyist isopod keeper and bug fanatic. I also love many other creepy crawlies. I'm actively studying environmental science, and I am a professional yapper and snacker.
that
And-
professional snack.
Yeah.
So good.
Thank you. Well, that's all me. Moving on.
All right, ISO.
Hello, I'm Iso. I do gaming. I like bugs a lot. I keep isopods as well. Obviously username, you're an isopod and all that. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I said my stuff. I'm mostly just awkward. I'm new to all this.
Yeah, it's just in case people didn't catch the intro.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Isopod also works with digital bugs, so you know, physical and digital, kind of a professional.
Yep, you're qualified.
Very rarely are the two related though.
Fair enough.
And now for the fairy wasps. Yeah, I need to look up what a fairy wasp is, and I'm maybe if
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
look at
see
let's
what we
look
can
at them.
But yeah, for wrapping up just the talk here, thank you guys for learning with us. We all learned new stuff as we researched from 3 different viewpoints.
Yeah, this was
I
great.
got a lot out of this. And I hope you guys did too. And again, just give each of us a follow. We all have similar interests in terms of what we do as streamers. So if you enjoy any of us, you'll likely enjoy the others. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
we'll
would
take any
recommend-
questions and
Will
thank
we?
you guys. Oh, okay.
Why
Well,
the will we? Why?
sorry. I'll go to this slide also. Sorry, yo, my bad.
Yeah.
Yo, my bad. Actually, I lied. No questions.
You guys don't have to go away. We're gonna look up fairy wasps and see what they're about.
Okay, so I'm looking at this fairy wasp. I'm on my laptop, and I'm like, I don't even know.
Okay, let's see. No, that was a new window. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted a new tab.
There's even false fairy wasps. The fairy wasp rabbit hole goes so deep.
I've never even heard of
Okay.
these things before.
I gotta
You
change
missed
the-
3 hours of isopods.
Fuck, Coma. We had such a good time. You really messed up.
Wow, Nep.
What?
Just rubbing it in.
And Fortnite ad.
Ain't
Fuck.
that the way?
Can someone add that to the ad count?
Is that exclamation point ad? Oh, cool,
Yeah.
I got it.
You know, I'm just
Oh, I
gonna take
followed
a
on it.
shot in the dark, and I'm gonna say if you put, like, a bunch of fairy wasps in the same enclosure as, like, let's say a bunch of dairy cows. Because I think if you put fairy wasps with anything else, the fairy wasps will win. But maybe if you put them in with dairy cows specifically,
Yeah.
it would be
I can-
a fair fight.
Oh, I had my mouse in the wrong spot. Here we go. Let's see. What do we know about them? Bug guide.
For
If
small.
you guys want an insect guide, this is called citizen science.
Yes, please.
Citizen scientists are the people that, while we don't have formal training in a topic, like I don't have formal entomology training. I've taken like 3 classes on it, but I wouldn't even qualify for a partial degree. But I spend so much time with it that I know a lot more than the average person. Citizen scientist. These two would also be like citizen scientists with isopods because of how familiar they are with it. Even if you don't study it.
That's
This
super cool.
guide is fucking amazing. Bugguide.net. It has the worst formatting, which I kind of love. Very early 2000s.
Oh,
in
it's
my
so
opinion.
ancient internet. It says
Amazing.
2003 at the bottom of it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can tell.
It's constantly updated. There are so many people that are this level of interested in insects. Everything is in here. It's amazing. You can do things like browse by taxonomy, so going through the different categories. You can browse just through you can go through images that people have uploaded. There's general information. Yeah. You can get all the links to the research, the things that they're using to cite, and then other information. But like it's an incredible resource, and it has information about other things too, other creepy crawlies, the things that often get mistaken for insects. I actually wonder if they have isopods. Yeah, they do. Arthropods, crustaceans, isopoda. Yeah, they do.
This one looks blue.
Yeah. So I bet they have just as many levels. You could probably ID isopods through this. Huh.
This one
I'll have
is
to
not
try
an
it sometime.
isopod, but
Well, that's where citizen scientists come in. You got to go in there and put in what you believe to be the correct so that people can see the two discussions.
Oh, and this is alphabetical. Okay, I see.
thank you for sharing this. This is
So sorry.
awesome.
Yeah, I love this. I'm gonna look up the fairy wasps though. I
Who's
wanna
this
see what they're
red
like.
guy? Springtail? Isopod?
Ooh.
I don't know. He's red and squishy.
Red and squishy. Oh, that's
Yeah,
very squishy looking.
People often get into the app iNaturalist because it's another common citizen science tool. So if you guys like IDing stuff, finding things, and noting that like where it came from, like if you go on a nature walk and you're like, oh shit, I just found this, I didn't expect that, you can take a photo and upload it to iNaturalist and it categorizes it. It's how research scientists are also able to collect data now, because you just have field researchers. Yeah.
This is awesome.
So fairy wasps,
Whoa!
also called fairy flies. Does that sound like the right thing? Fairy wasps. Lemuridae? Oh shit! Are these the same ones that I gotta grab my notes, one sec. I'm gonna get up and find this. These might be the same kind that parasitize greenhouse pests, in which case I was messing around with those yesterday.
I think they are, though. From the tiny amount of Googling I was looking at, it looked like they were, like the kind that lays their eggs in something else.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I've got all my notes still from when I took entomology, and I know
Nice.
we covered this. So, I'm gonna find it.
They're super cute.
They
all
are.
of them. Like all of these different little genuses.
Oh, I have an official definition for what a morph is.
Okay, go ahead.
A character which is derived, specialized, considered new, but it doesn't imply better. Example, winged versus wingless. Winged is anyways, ignore that bit, but that's what a morph is. So, it's not something that means it's going to outperform the other ones just because it doesn't have it. That's why there's it's contested with whether or not the dairy cows are a different species.
Well, it's because they can't, like, they can't reproduce with what people thought they were.
They, like, a dormant trait has become required.
Something about dairy cows,
That makes sense.
they just became, like, too vicious. It's, like, literally in their DNA that they're, like, meaner than the rest of them. And I mean this in no offense to dairy cows or to you, ISO, or anything, but, like, you gotta admit those things are...
He just called you a cow. I had to. It was right there.
That's
That's
definitely
fair.
what I meant.
I have to admit that dairy cows definitely seem to be like shouldering the collective rage of all the isopods of the world after years of being stepped on and eaten and turned into blue crystals.
No, actually, if anything can defeat iridovirus, it's just a really pissed off dairy cow.
Oh, you got it from eating something? You didn't eat it hard enough. If you chewed harder, there wouldn't be any virus left.
So
You just have to be more vicious.
Okay, Mipterans. And these are the Mimaridae?
Oh, cow eat a
Okay, we
chicken.
didn't cover those ones specifically. Because that's... Wait, am I... No, chelicilloids. That's what it is. Chelicidae. Yeah, so they're commonly called chelicid wasps, so that's the slightly larger group. These are just one group within it. There are 18 families of this group. They're relatively large.
in terms of micro wasps, what else? They do have elbowed antenna, so they're one of those things from the bees, wasps, ant family that has that characterization of an elbowed antenna. Dun, 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 dun. The females have short ovipositors, so eggs are placed near the host and hatch into a type of larva that is able to get into the host. So they don't actually lay their egg inside. These parasitic wasps.
Oh, but the
don't.
larva can get in.
But the larva able to get in.
Mmm. So the
Common
way
hosts are, let's see, common hosts are lepidopterans, so butterflies and moths, coleoptera, beetles, diptera, flies. Yeah, those are just really common ones for the overarching group.
the way I see it,
They're called some of them are called hyperparasites, which are neat because it means it parasitizes a parasite.
oh damn.
Yeah.
That's hardcore. I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, also sometimes used in what do you call it? Words. What's the fucking biocontrols? That's it. Some of them are used as biocontrols.
The way I see it, I think if you put these in an isopod enclosure, I don't think it would go good for the isopods. Unless they're dairy cows, in which case, more food for the dairy cows.
Yeah, I don't know that the wasps are gonna do anything because the
But
it
like,
seems like a lot of these parasitize like eggs and the young, but if isopods are raising their young internally for the most
true,
part,
actually,
I don't know
how
that
can they even parasitize if isopods have tummies?
Yeah.
Marsupiums.
So while the fairy wasp exists under the Chelicidae family, the ones that are most commonly used for biocontrols are a group called the Braconidae. Yeah. So they can occasionally be used, but they're not very commonly used. It's the braconid wasps that are about the same size. Maybe slightly larger, but they're the ones that are often hyperparasitoids. That's the group that parasitizes aphids. So not the ones I was whatever yesterday. They weren't under a microscope where I was yesterday.
Fun.
Ugh, I love when I pull these notes out and there's like, oh, I forgot about that group. It's
Remember
like when people
that?
pull out a photo album and they're looking at childhood images, but I'm like looking at my fucking notes.
Memories.
Oh, what a good time. Okay. Well, Skittle, did I answer your question though? About what they are? I don't know. I want to make sure we actually answered and looked into it. Awesome. Okay, we did. All right. Well, then I think we might be at the end. I'm impressed we actually surpassed 3 hours.
We're so good at this.
Yeah.
it's the gift of gab.
Yeah. Presentations out of interest, like a fascination in a subject, so much fun.
Absolutely.
Being forced to write one for school?
Less fun.
All right. Well, thank you guys both for joining me.
Thank
and
you.
I'm glad you got to also stream this, so it's reaching your community too.
Yeah, I'm glad that our chats could come together as one.
Yeah. ISO also streams, but did not wish to stream the presentation, but just hang out with the two of us. But yeah, also streams.
Thanks for
I
hanging
felt
out with us,
lazy.
ISO.
What can I say? Yeah, thank you for having me. My people came anyway, so
Yay, everyone's here.
I did my part.
Yeah, I think it's a good turnout. Like, a lot of people came and learned and asked questions
Yeah.
and stuff. I love it. All right.
Well, I think I'm gonna wrap up here. I'm gonna say bye to you guys and then do my outro.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well,
But
thank
you
you
two for joining me.
guys. Have a good
It was
rest of
super
your
fun.
day.
You too. Super cool people. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. I gotta leave the Discord call. Hold on. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. Awkward. Hang on. Goodbye.
Okay, bye. The most awkward like hang up ever. All right. Well, Dunsies and everyone that was here, make sure you follow both Nep and ISO. Follow both of them. And if you're new to my channel, you can follow me as well. I don't know. That'd be cool. But thank you so much for hanging out with us and learning a lot about isopods. My next stream will be on Tuesday. But other than that, I hope that everyone has a wonderful weekend. And as I always say, take care of yourself. Be kind to others. Keep it. Peace, love, unity, respect, plur each and every single day. And I'll see y'all on the next Taffy Tuesday. And thank you for being here. Bye, ma. Oh, wait. Shit, should we raid someone? Wait. Should we raid someone? Hold on. I don't know. How does that work with, like, shared viewers? Ah, whatever. Let's find someone to raid just because I like raiding people. No. I clicked on like a random ass person. I don't know who that is. Oh my gosh! Neru is having a 1-year debut anniversary. New model, guys. Alright. We're gonna go raid Neru. Everyone have a wonderful night. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye.